Okay, then that was my fault because I forgot to set it to cable input. All
Oh,
right,
see.
my bad, dog. My bad, dog.
It's all Drew's fault.
It's all my fault, man. I forgot to hit the cable input, man.
My fault. This one on me.
I'm just doing a Booker T impression, man. Don't get offended, man. I know it's 2024, homie.
Come on, Crown.
RJ, do I have your permission as a black man to do another impression of a black man, man?
Oh God. Man, Booker T's hilarious.
I love Booker T.
I can listen to him ramble all week long. I mean, all episode long on NXT, and it's hilarious. Because sometimes Booker T don't know what the fuck he be talking.
Like we don't, but it makes for good TV.
It does. It is comedy. Be like, Booker, Booker don't make any sense. What are you talking about, man? What you talking about, dog?
Why did he tag himself in, man? Booker, it's a tag team match. All I'm saying is he should have worked for that, man.
Oh man, it's fucking hilarious, bro. I can. Dave Meltzer give him worst commentator of the year award all he wants, but Booker T's the fucking.
I'll pick fucking Booker T over Dork and a fucking lucha mask announcer all day, every day.
Oh, humming. Yeah, I can't stand him, man. He's not even the best announcer in AEW. How the hell did he get the best announcer award when he's not even the best on AEW? I put Taz over him in a heartbeat. At least Taz knows what the fuck he's talking about. Is actually cool. And fucking Shivani, when motivated, is actually I don't know. Shivani won me over with the, come on, speak, bitch. Come on now. He won me over with that.
That was fun. That was funny for the wrong. That was funny for the wrong reasons. Shivani's enjoyable for the wrong reasons, even though I know he sucks. But he's enjoyable for the wrong reasons. JR just sounds like he shouldn't just be there at all.
It's time for JR to pack it up, man.
I mean, he's making that money. Good for him. Like if Tony Khan offered me 6-7 figures to do the bare minimum, I'd be a fool not to take it.
Exactly, especially in this economy, you kidding? I take it in a heartbeat.
You know what I mean? It's like sometimes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sometimes you just gotta learn when to walk away when you ain't got it no more, man.
Right. It's like me and Justin have this conversation all the time. It's like it's like, say you're working at Wendy's and you get an offer from Burger King and McDonald's, and you know Burger King might seem like the more logical place to go to. Let's example. But McDonald's is saying, hey, we're going to offer you more pay and work less days and you get more benefits. Like, what are you going to choose? You're going to choose the best money and the best schedule possible. So,
yeah.
I never hold it against people that go to AEW to make more money. Granted, you're just going to be another wrestler on the roster.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you just go in there to just get extra money and patch your pension, hey, fine, go ahead, do what you got to do. But if you're actually looking to actually go somewhere, I don't know if AEW is the best option. It just depends on what the wrestler's motivation is, really. Right. Money, exposure, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of those things go into consideration. A guy like Adam Copeland, of course he wants to go for the money, man. Like, don't blame him not one bit for doing it, man. That's why I don't know how wrestling fans be getting mad at these wrestlers making decisions for themselves. It's like, yo, like, shut up. Quit crying. Like, come on. It is what it is. Just chill out.
All right. I really don't care anymore. Like, I used to care, but now I'm just like, you know what? Make your money.
Make your money. Do what you gotta do.
I really don't care. It's like with Kevin Owens. Like, Kevin Owens' contract is coming up in May, and we kind of like did it from two different perspectives. Well, I mean, Justin had one perspective, and then he had a different perspective based off of something I said, where, you know, Kevin Owens is a family man. He has 2 kids. So for him, it's just like, hey, make more money and spend more time with my kids. And He's also friend with the Bucks, or friends with the Bucks. I mean, so that is another thing that kind of going to play. And Justin kind of had an interesting like perspective from the things I was saying, which was, do you really think Kevin Owens really cares about most of that stuff? Not much. Obviously the family stuff is important, but like the stuff about being friends with the Bucks and I guess being more prominently used. Whereas I mean he's still prominently used on WWE, but like put him on AEW, like and probably let loose and be more Kevin Steen and less Kevin Owens. And Justin was like, "Do you really think he cares about that stuff, though?" Right, like
that's a good point, but I don't know. I think if Kevin Owens really cared about being Kevin Steen again, he would have left years ago when AEW. Because was his contract lined up around the time that AEW first started?
Well, actually, it was lined up right around the time when he faced Austin at Mania. Him and Sami Zayn both. They both signed big contracts to stay. And I don't know. Look at Kevin Owens' track record. Former world champion. He's won every title in the company except for. Well, I mean, I don't know if you count these as titles, but accomplishments. He hasn't been Royal Rumble winner, or Money in the Bank winner yet, but he's main evented 2 Manias in a row. He brought Steve Austin out of retirement, which was actually Austin's call to work with Kevin Owens. So Kevin Owens to me is, I would say, old reliable, if that makes sense. Like I know Jeff Lippman always has this interesting analogy when it comes to like certain people in NXT, which is player coach. Do you see Kevin Owens as almost like a player coach in some aspects?
No, because to me, a player coach is a guy who's a veteran that's working with a younger guy. Kevin Owens is not working with younger guys. He's working with main event talent, putting main event talent over. To me, that's not a player. A player coach is Sean Spears. To me, that's what a player coach is. A guy who's leading, a guy who has a lot of experience that is leading the green guys to greener, better pastures.
Right.
That to me is a player coach. In my mind.
No. You're right. But yeah, Kevin Owens is definitely all reliable. I forgot how DT had an interesting way. D'Antoni had an interesting way of putting it. Happy anniversary to him, by the way, for him and his wife. Yeah. He had an interesting way of putting Kevin Owens. Is like Kevin Owens is that toy that you take out of the toy chest and you have him play with the other popular toys, and then once he's finished, you put him back in the toy chest. You know what I mean? Like Kevin Owens, you have him wrestle with Roman Reigns every now and then. You have him wrestle with Logan Paul, Cody, Randy Orton, and then he kind of goes back to not necessarily the back of the line, but he kind of goes where he's gonna be where he's gonna be. That's kind of the most polite way to put, I guess, Kevin Owens' status in WWE. Like he's gonna be where he's gonna be. Like, is he necessarily gonna be world champion again? Probably not. But I don't know about Kevin Owens is that his favorite wrestler of all time is Steve Austin, and he learned how to speak English by watching Monday Night Raw, listening to Jim Ross. So that's kind of what I know about Kevin Owens. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes AEW for the money and the schedule, but at the end of the day, I don't think Kevin Owens is a mark for himself.
Here's the thing, too. WWE doesn't have that excruciating schedule like they used to have anymore.
Right.
They're not doing house shows anymore like that.
No.
Kevin Owens, from what I'm sitting at right now, is only working one day a week.
Yeah.
So is the schedule that appealing to people anymore? I don't know. So I mean, I don't know. And look, being a friend of the Bucks, that's cool and dandy, but I mean,
right.
I don't know.
Right.
It wouldn't surprise me either if he did go, but I don't know. I really don't see it. I think that Kevin Owens strikes me as a guy that will want to finish his career in the WWE.
Right.
And I think Kevin, don't be surprised if Kevin Owens gets a nice heel push in the future too.
Right.
I think that's what we're really waiting on with him is a nice little heel turn and a push for that. So that's what I'm thinking.
So,
With
and
the boot camp,
I mean,
moving somewhere else.
another guy, friends of the Bucks that re-signed with WWE, Finn Balor. Finn Balor re-signed not too long ago, and again, another guy who's close to the Bucks, but decided to
I
stay
don't know
in
if he,
WWE.
I don't know if he's that close to the Bucks like that. I mean,
I mean, I mean,
yeah,
I'm just going by what he said in an interview that he's friends with the Bucks. So I'm just going by what he said.
yeah, but I mean, he's not like Owens. Owens and them, they were in trenches together.
Well, I mean, Finn Balor was, I guess, the founder of the Bullet Club.
Yeah, and when the Young Bucks really got their foot into the door, Finn Balor was on his way out.
Right. No.
So
Right.
they were like two ships passing in the night. And that's when the Bullet Club started getting corny. Thank God AJ Styles came right away though. So I was a little concerned. I'm like, what the fuck? I said the Motor City Machine Guns are right there. Why would you have a group called the Bullet Club and then you bring in the Young Bucks wearing fucking tassels and fucking purple?
Oh
huh?
God. I would
Machine Guns are right there.
I would take the Motor City Machine Guns over the Bucks any day of the week.
Right, that would have been my choice right there. Especially since Chris Sabin, at the time, Sabin was already gone from Impact and Shelley was already over there. Oh man, it just that to me that was the big miss. But anyways,
I was gonna say,
though, it just not good. That's when Bullet Club just started going down for me. But
right. Oh, and by the way, welcome everybody to the show. I am Drew. This is RJ.
That's right.
And
this is lovely hosts.
You're the loveliest of all hosts. But yeah, welcome to the show. We haven't done one of these in a while, but we're gonna try to do more of these frequently. Maybe not every week, maybe like every other week. But this is our show. A little different from the experience. It's kind of half. I mean, we kind of like try to make it more about entertainment and less about wrestling. But wrestling is so ingrained in our blood that we kind of have to talk about wrestling every now and then because me and RJ don't get to talk all the time as much as we like to, and when we do, we kind of like to just talk about everything. So, and I like to get his perspective on certain things. Yeah. First and foremost, how have you been, man? How are things over with you?
I feel like I want to choke somebody. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh shit.
I'm good. I just you know me, man. I'm a guy that likes taking shit day by day, and that's what I'm doing. I'm living my life day to day. Keeping myself busy, obviously with work, doing the podcast. We didn't do an episode of the Brooklyn Power Trip this week, but I did a Savage Squad episode with my friend Andrew. Ironically, he's training at one of the schools down here. I didn't even know existed. Palmetto Championship Wrestling. They have a Palmetto Championship Academy. So
nice.
He's training, and he's been doing it for I think 4 weeks. He was saying. So yeah, getting a chance to hear his experience and everything like that was definitely eye opening. And I think if anybody is looking to get in the wrestling business or just looking, seeing how certain school experiences are, I would definitely just listen to that. Me, myself, personally, whenever I do the Savage Squad show, I usually, how can I say this in a way that makes me look good in the end? I give the guest the floor to speak their piece. It's a platform for them to just speak their piece. And I let Andrew do that. And he was thoroughly explaining a lot of different things from drills to how the coaches are, who's come out of the school. One of the first people that graduated from the school actually appeared on Ring of Honor TV earlier this year. So that's pretty cool. And it was a really fun conversation and everything like that. He's a guy that I work with at the store. He's a part of my circle, as I explained in the show. So it was really, really good to really know that he's having a good experience and everything like that. So,
yeah, that's always interesting hearing from the perspective of somebody who's actually like in the trenches, that actually has knows how the training goes and whatnot. I know, Justin, he knows people in the business. Because if anyone doesn't know, Justin, is on the experience with me. Don't like saying co-host. It's his show as much as it is my show. Yeah, he has his own wrestling store. If you guys don't know, Spinebuster Tees, and Texas is a hotbed for independent wrestling.
Oh yeah,
like there's a lot of wrestling here, and Justin happens to know a lot of local wrestlers that come by his shop that stay in touch with him. So yeah, like he definitely does some. He knows people from River City Wrestling. I believe he's pretty tight with the booker or the manager for River City Wrestling here, which is the biggest independent wrestling fed here in San Antonio. It was TWA, which was Shawn Michaels' old school, but now it's River City Wrestling. Yeah, it's just like I always love hearing different perspectives from people in the business. Same with like Joe Numbers, from the Soup, who's been a part of wrestling since he was 16. So it's always interesting. I love hearing anyone talk about wrestling, whether it's the wrestlers, referees, whatnot, bookers. But speaking of wrestling, so quick thoughts, because you were with us for the Berlin Bash at Berlin pay-per-view on Saturday. You can listen to that where podcasts are available. You can also listen to on our YouTube. You can watch the live reaction, also the audio portion on YouTube. But what did you think about NXT No Mercy?
It was a fun show, except for the main event. I didn't care for the main event whatsoever.
Right.
Other than that, I liked it. I thought it was a fun, and I didn't like the second women's match either. Well, I mean, the first one was Kalani and Wendy. I didn't dig that. But other than that, I liked everything else. I thought the tag team match is fantastic. I thought that all four of those guys looked good. Ridge looked good. Andre Chase, you guys know, I hate the Bravado brothers just as much as I hate the Young Bucks, but I got to give Harlem his credit. Harlem Bravado, Andre Chase has definitely busted his ass, and it's even crazier because he's doing it in a fucking sweater, tight ass pants, and fucking Jordans. I could never. So I got to give that man his credit. He's been balling and busting his ass, and he's one of the best performers in NXT. And I mean, he should be with his experience and everything like that. And Nathan Frazier and Axiom, those guys are freaks, man. And Nathan Frazier, my God, man. Whew.
That guy's a spitball of energy.
You ain't lying, man. And Axiom, he hits hard for a small guy. So, I mean, those guys are... You put those guys in the ring together, they really, really had really good chemistry. And it was a really fun match. And it was a shocking outcome. And the heel turn afterwards was shocking. So that was nice. Wesley and Zachary Wentz had a really good match with a surprising outcome. I figured that, and I told Monty this last week, I figured that they were going to give TNA one, and then they were going to beat the other TNA guy in the main event. So I figured Wentz would get the win, maybe by a roll-up, Trey Miguel, shenanigans, and stuff like that, which kind of happened. But obviously the added effect was, TNA putting the X Division Championship on Zachary Wentz, which is a brilliant strategy by TNA, by the way, knowing that Zachary Wentz was going to be on the pay-per-view, and that gets, more eyes on the X Division Championship, which in turn gets more eyes on TNA. Because people are going to be like, mommy, where's that championship from? Oh, TNA, right. X Division. So it made sense because people was bitching online. How could they take the belt from Mike Bailey? First and foremost, Mike Bailey, another boring, flippy, dippy guy with no real personality whatsoever. I mean, give me a break. And he's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong, but no personality whatsoever, bro. Like, come on. And he's not... What is he going to do? What is he going to do with the belt? And, anyways, you act like TNA isn't taped not so far in advance anymore. Actually, TNA's wised up. They only tape, 2 episodes now in advance. So, it's not like TNA tape shit in the can, months in the can like they used to. So, I mean, Wentz probably won't even be champion that long anyways. But to me, it was still a brilliant strategy to get the X Division Championship on NXT WWE programming at the end of the day.
So let me ask you something. Do you think that might have been a WWE call?
I don't.
And I say that because you were saying that I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like it was a smart idea to put it on Wentz, which makes sense, because it
Mhm.
makes Wentz seem like a bigger deal heading into this match, and
Yeah.
him being the champion, him getting the win makes sense, which I'll give you my thoughts in a bit, but like, yeah, do you think a lot of how TNA is running their business ever since they started partnering up with WWE? Do you think WWE does kind of have a say? Not like 100% like say, but like more like, I guess, consulting with TNA. Like, you should book like this. You should maybe tape lesser shows in a week. You should do this because it makes the match feel special, and we'll give you your guys the win on our pay per view. Like, do you think maybe WWE has a say in some things?
Maybe. I know for damn sure the talent. I mean, we know. I think we pretty much know the talents. But I think maybe Shawn Michaels and Triple H are doing some advising there, and I
Right.
think I think they leave the final decision to Impact at the end of the day. But I just know that I know for sure that WWE Shawn Michaels is getting the talent that he wants
Right.
on the show. That I think they 1,000% have control over. But I think there might be some them consulting and stuff like that, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I just thought that overall, like whether it was a Shawn Michaels idea or whoever else is running Impact, I don't know who the fuck's running Impact at this point, but whoever is in charge of booking over there, I just thought it was a smart decision. A smart decision. Why not? Why not take a Mike Bailey ain't showing up on NXT anytime soon. I doubt it. Shawn Michaels likes characters, just in case you guys didn't notice. So,
Yeah.
I mean, unless Mike Bailey goes full blown cartoon brass monkey with the goddamn karate shit, he ain't appearing on NXT no time soon. Like, come on, give me a break.
Right.
Same,
So
same thing
we
with Josh Alexander. Like, he's not showing up on Impact. On NXT anytime soon either.
yeah, that's kind of like, I'm enjoying this, obviously. The NXT TNA partnership. The only thing
Me too.
I think needs to kind of be the icing on the cake is like, when are they going to send their heavy hitters over to TNA? When is Obafemi going to go to TNA? Because he can be like, I've already gone through the competition here in NXT. I need to go elsewhere. And he shows up on TNA, and him and fucking Alexander Hammerstone, which is just like, oh, give me that, please. Like, please give me that. Or
The other thing too, Drew, I think what it is that there's not a lot of good options over in TNA either.
right. Well, no. My whole thing is just like, it's obviously working, and I'm going to say something complimentary about AEW. At least AEW sent Kenny Omega as the world champion to their tapings and also to their pay-per-views. At least they did that. With NXT, it's just like, what about Trick Williams showing up on TNA to do an appearance? Like, there's a rumor, again, rumor. I emphasize rumor that Cody might be doing some, tapings for TNA, maybe.
Okay, that's cool.
Which I could see Cody doing that, because Cody is very much a business guy. And he's very much somebody who's about giving back to the business. So I can see that happening. But but as far as like NXT goes, like, send your heavy hitters. Send Ethan Page as the NXT champion, and then him and Dolph can have a match, or Nick Nemeth, whatever you want to call him. Or the women's champion Roxanne. Like, she can have another match with Jordan, which Jordan's going to appear on NXT next week and do an open challenge. So I don't know. That to me, that's just the one thing that's missing, and I think it's going to happen. Like, you're going to see Wesley show up on TNA more than likely. You're gonna
screw Zachary Wentz over.
Right, that's going to happen. So again, it's just one of those things that we talked about it on. Go ahead.
Do you think this is another thing too? Do you think that Shawn Michaels thinks that maybe it's not worth sending some of his heavy hitters over there? Let's send the greener people over there to do business. Because at least with the greener talent, at least the Izzy Dames, like they sent Izzy Dame and Ariana and Carmen Petrovich over there. Like, is it more so about those people getting the reps more than sending the stars over there to, I don't know, be involved in mediocrity, maybe, perhaps? Because I got to be honest with you, man. I'm looking at that Impact roster. None of those people interest me, man.
Yeah, no, I get you. But like, I agree with you because I know me and Justin had this conversation before that I know there's rumors that whatchamacallit, Endeavor or TKO, whatever you want to call them, might be interested in buying TNA, and
Right.
TNA could possibly be their NXT's NXT. And I think it's a good thing that WWE and Shawn Michaels are allowing a lot of their greener talents like a Tavion Heights or Josh Briggs, to go to TNA and get some reps, or go to Japan and get some reps. I think that's good because the Performance Center obviously has had some good, bright spots like Kalani Jordan, for example. But that's the WWE style. Like if they ever leave and go elsewhere, all they're going to know is the WWE style. So the fact that they're allowing them to go elsewhere and learn other styles so that way they can hone their craft, that's obviously a good thing. And I like that. I like the fact that you're seeing Charlie Dempsey appear on TNA, or you're seeing Izzy Dame appear on TNA. And you might be right about Shawn Michaels. Like, I don't know if I want my top guys, in a company that doesn't really have too many stars. But I think it's almost like you need to find something that makes sense for them. You can't just have Trick Williams show up on TNA and be like, yeah, I'm gonna fight somebody. Like it needs to make sense. You know what I mean? Like unless they do like a Worlds Collide pay-per-view where it's champion versus champion, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just, to me, it's just, as a fan, I think that's the one thing that's missing from really making this partnership mean something. Because in some ways it kind of looks one-sided.
Yeah, it does. I would send some main roster. I'd send Nakamura over there. I send Nakamura over there. I send an AJ Styles. Guys, Triple H ain't using right now.
Exactly.
Why not send an Omos over there?
Oh,
because
God.
I think that could actually help. Actually, because TNA don't have big stars, man. They don't. I'm sorry, Mike Bailey. They're not it. Those guys are not it. A star and a great wrestler are two different things to me, man.
Yeah.
A star is somebody that has a striking look, can talk. You can put him on a poster. You can point him out of a lineup. That's a star, and can do the wrestling and this, that, and the other. That's a superstar in the wrestling business. To me, Josh Alexander might be. That's not it, bro. Moose, not it. Sorry, not it. When the Rascals, and I'll give Joe Hendry his credit. I'm not a fan of his whatsoever, but I give him his credit. At least he's entertaining. You can point him out of a lineup. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't. Basic is basic and go in the ring, but he's entertaining. You can identify him. I'll give the man that. ABC is a team that I would love to see mix it up in NXT, though. Those guys fit NXT. They're both young. I think Chris Bay is 26. Ace Austin's like 25 or some shit like that. So I think Shawn Michaels should bring those guys over next. But other than that, I really don't see, like, the Knockouts division, to me, for all the talk of, it's the greatest division, women's division in the world. Besides Jordan Grace, who else did he really have? I mean, I like Danny Luna, who's like non-steroided Jordan Grace, but the NXT had her. They let her go. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. There's not a lot of options. There's not a lot of options. There really isn't. So, but I do like the partnership, though. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. And then Friday, Slammiversary is going to be here in San Antonio, which I'm thinking about going. I might end up going because I haven't been to a TNA show before. I know the last time there was a TNA pay-per-view here was like in 2011, 2012, like 2014, somewhere around that. And I think it was Lockdown. And that when they did the reveal that Bully Ray was the leader of Aces and Eights, and that was pretty much it. But yeah, I might go. I'm gonna go because like the tickets are pretty cheap. I think they're as low as like $10. So I know my sister. She's like, let's go. I was like, yeah, let's go. And I was asking Betty if she wants to go, and she's like, well, who's there? And I just told her who's there, and she's like, oh, I might go. So
TNA's coming here this weekend. They coming to South Carolina this weekend, I do believe, in Spartanburg.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I ain't gonna be able to go though. I mean, had I would have known ahead of time, I probably would have gone. But yeah, I ain't got enough protected PTO time for that. That son.
That's a boo.
So yeah, I know. Shame because you never know which NXT stars might show up. And like I said, I'm a fan of the Rascals. I like the Rascals. I like ABC. It's mostly the tag team guys I really like. And Hammerstone, of course, that's my dog. But TNA to me ain't utilizing him like I think they should.
He needs to go to WWE as soon as that contract runs up. Go to WWE. It's just like this. That guy looks like a star. Like that's a star. I think you called him like a miniature Hogan, like almost like a smaller version of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, because of the whole, he likes rock and roll music and he's, big guy, bodybuilding. But yeah, obviously not the person or the wrestler. Hammerstone's got way more tricks in his bag than Hogan ever did. So,
right.
Yeah, but that's pretty much what I was going with that. And I know he likes to wear a lot of red and yellow too. So, and for a while there, when he was a babyface in MLW, he was rah America guy. So,
and I'm pretty sure Triple H would want to do that Hammerstone Fatu match on WWE.
For whatever reason, Triple H is not giving this guy the look, though. I don't understand.
Who?
Hammerstone's been turned down multiple times.
That's weird. That's so fucking weird. Like you would think he's a Triple H guy because he has a good look. He can work. He can talk. I don't know. Like I don't know. Triple H, as much credit as I want to give him for giving people a chance, more than Vince ever did, it's like there's certain people that he doesn't push wrong, which I just kind of scratch my head. I'm like, he seems like a Triple H guy. Like you would
exactly. That's where some of my anger comes with when it comes to Triple H as well. It's like, damn, you think that would be a slam dunk, but nope.
Like he has this weird infatuation with Johnny Gargano, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then I know he loves the shit out of Adam Cole. Like I know Adam Cole says that he still keeps in contact with Triple H and Shawn. He calls them his wrestling dads. So I don't know. Like there's just certain people, like usually like back in the day, like if you heard certain people worked out with Triple H, you're like, all right, they're gonna be fine. Like Batista. Batista was on the verge of being fired, and then he worked out with Triple H, and what happened. Which again, just speculation, going by what people said. Sheamus, same thing. He worked out with Triple H. He had the career he had. Drew McIntyre, not really, because I think that was more just personal issues with Drew. But look where he's at now. Yeah, I don't know. Just it's weird because like you look at the people Triple H pushes, you look at the people Shawn Michaels pushes, and it's like night and day. It's like it's different. It's vastly different than what you were expecting from both guys from like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? It's funny to look at it like both guys who are all about fuck the establishment. Now we are the establishment.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels is obviously very open-minded, which makes sense because Shawn always came off as somebody who was very open-minded and didn't really like snub his nose at certain people. Like he seemed like a work rate guy. Like Paul London talks about how Shawn always went to bat for him and put his shit over. Triple H, I think, had to learn to be more diverse and open-minded because as much as NXT Black and Gold was good and enjoyable, he kind of shot himself in the foot by signing every indie talent he could find that had a name because he wanted to be the cool stepdad. And I don't know, Triple H he's obviously doing a good job. Obviously, like the show's more enjoyable. He's allowing more creative freedom for people, but it's just a few head scratchers there.
Yeah, no, definitely.
When it comes to like pushing talent, but
and again, I definitely agree with you 1,000%, bro.
And again, granted, Raw only 3 hours, SmackDown's only 2 hours, so there's only so much talent you can use, and like everybody kind of has their own right. Like everybody has their own like real estate essentially that they're pushing, so you can't get everybody in there. But it's just again just little nitpicks. You know what I mean? Like we're wrestling fans, we nitpick with everything.
Damn right.
I nitpick with NXT, even though sometimes I run into that problem. Like, well, it's developmental, so maybe I should give like give them a break. But it's the wrestling fan of me where I'm like, yeah, this stuff doesn't look as good as I want it to be.
Yeah, Monty, man, Come on, you got to remember what you're watching, man.
I love Monty, and I told him this to his face. I'm like, Monty, come on, like chill.
You gotta chill. I'm like, bro, you gotta chill, son, chill, pop, chill.
Yeah, I told him, like, Monty, you say some crazy shit, but I still love you. And he's like, but yeah, but with No Mercy, we kind of were not necessarily split. But we kind of agreed on it that it just seemed like a really good episode of NXT. It didn't really seem like a takeover or a pay per view. Go ahead.
No, of course not, and especially not with that main event. And it's just like, to me, Shawn Michaels has got some problems too, and his problems. There's not a lot of viable men to go up for that NXT championship, man.
Correct.
Williams, Ethan Page, Joe Hendry. That's the best you got. No disrespect to those three guys. I mean, Ethan Page. I've come around to Ethan Page. Never really was the biggest fan of his. I mean, when he's fat on the indies, I'm like, oh, that's the guy everybody's going crazy over.
He's fine.
Credit to him. Towards the end of his Impact run, he got himself into some really, really good shape, and this, that, and I always found him to be goofy,
right.
But he's carrying the NXT championship nicely. It's just I just find him to be average in ring. He doesn't do anything that wows me or makes me go, okay, I want to see more of him wrestle. He's more of the antagonist that gets underneath your skin, you know?
Yeah, like I'm kind of the same with you. Like he's somebody that I just looked at him like he looks like he's the definition of just okay as far as like in ring quality, but I think he's kind of really grown into his role in NXT, and he can obviously talk. He has the gift of gab. He knows how to work the crowd. He has good facials too for a heel.
He's got a punchable face, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like he fits into his role. It's crazy. It's like, WWE signed them like, hey, we'll make you the NXT champion. Okay,
right away too.
Right away, and so far it's working. It's working. Like I think he's doing a good job as champion, as far as like from a character aspect. Like his matches are, again, they're just okay. Like they're nothing to write home about. Again, and I like Joe Hendry. You and me kind of have different views on Joe Hendry, but we both agree on the idea of like once that bell rings, it's just like he's just okay. Like he's passable. He doesn't really do anything that's like overly exciting or even offensive. I thought the main event was the best way I can put it. It seemed like the main event of a Ring of Honor pay-per-view in the early 2000s or the early to mid 2000s. Not even early to mid 2000s. I would say like the 2010s.
Oh.
When Matt Taven and Roderick Strong were there, like that to me.
I would have rather a Roderick Strong Matt Taven main event. In that case,
so,
at least Roderick Strong can work,
right?
Nah, you know what that main event reminded me of? It reminded me of Ring of Honor circa 2020, when Joe Hendry was ironically in the main event, taking it up with fucking what's his hot sauce Tracy Williams and fucking Dak Draper and those guys. That's how you know Ring of Honor was really good.
Jesus Christ.
All those guys wrestling. Joe Hendry coming out to the same theme song, but he's all sad and not emotion. He's got no emotions whatsoever. Wearing his best pair of dad jeans, walking down to the ring. I'm like, oh God, this is the best Ring of Honor could do. Dak Draper?
Jesus Christ.
I fucks with John Draper, but not Dak Draper.
I was about to say, I'd rather have John Draper than Dak Draper.
Oh my God, it was bad, bro. I'm like, oh God, that is what that NXT main event reminded me of.
God. But yeah, the main event, I think the big story was Trick Williams was the referee and people were cheering for Trick, and you weren't sure what was going to happen. Trick Williams was like, I'm going to call it right down the middle, baby.
Yeah.
And then what happened, and Trick Williams ended up dropping the biggest diss track of 2024, which that song's in my head. Like,
really, nigga, up and you said B.I.G. my nigga. One of the best songs of all time, and he flipped it and made it his own. Yeah.
Even Matt Riddle shared on his Instagram story of him dancing to the song. Trick Williams shared it, so I don't know. I do like Trick. I think Trick obviously needs more fine tuning in the ring.
Yeah,
But yeah, Trick.
which is why I like the feud with him and Pete Dunne. See, Pete Dunne is playing the role of a nice player coach right now.
Yeah, I'm fine with the feud with Pete. I know Pete gets a bad rap. But
I actually think Pete Dunne is doing some of the better work of his
agreed.
career. Actually, I
Agreed.
think Pete Dunne he's talking more, he's emoting more, and they have something with the Butch thing. Obviously, they're trying to get people to chant Butch at him to get underneath his skin. So he's feeling complete now because him just walking around like Monty called him a motionless lesbian with an oatmeal cream pie face. That's not gonna work out. That's not gonna work out. So now they're trying to get him over his heel, and they use Sheamus and Trick Williams to do it. And I actually think he's doing off and on screen. I think he's doing some of the best work of his career. Like he's doing a lot. I said the other day, flat out, I said Pete Dunne might be the hardest working man in WWE right now, man.
Right,
Between his work with his work on Raw, NXT, and on WWE Speed.
right. Like I'm enjoying it. Like flash forward to Tuesday on NXT, they had a brawl. Throughout the whole episode, throughout the whole show. Like even during their match, it ended up being like was a double count out. So next Tuesday, is going to be a steel cage match. So I'm enjoying the feud because this is what Pete Dunne needs. I'm not Pete Dunne. Trick Williams. Trick Williams needs to. Well, not needs to. I think he was already kind of humbled. Like he needed to lose that first match against Pete to kind of like make people realize, okay, they're not pushing the shit out of him, because I think that was kind of his detriment, was that they gave Trick too much too fast instead of kind of letting him earn it a little bit. And he also needed more fire because when he became the champion, he was kind of boring. Like he was still coming out, doing the whoop that trick, and that's still over. But as far as like his personality goes, he was a little bit too happy-go-lucky. And there didn't seem like there was enough fire to him. And now he has more fire to him with this feud with Pete because it feels personal. So eventually they're going to put the title back on him, and he's going to be champion for the Chicago show, for the premiere for NXT and CW. That's if a certain supposed free agent doesn't show up. Ricky Starks. But yeah, NXT. Jeff Lippman is delightful. It's delightful every week. It's the best wrestling show for WWE, and best wrestling show period every week. And also the I guess the NXT show debut, because she debuted on the PLE pay-per-view, whatever. She debuted on at the end of NXT. Julia came out on NXT No Mercy, which I think they kind of botched that debut, because I think that should have just been the end of the show, in my opinion, because they really put all their cards in a deck for this girl, and to have her come out like before the main event. To me, I think that's when the show peaked, was when she came out. Or, if anything, just have her come out, or just save that debut for NXT, if anything. But she came out. Chelsea Green did like a swerve where it seemed like she was going to be Julia, but then she came out. She's like, "Oh, you're expecting somebody else," and Chelsea Green hamming it up as usual. And then Julia came out. Chelsea got in her face, and then Julia kicked her in the face, which people were bitching about, like, "Oh, she didn't. That was a shitty looking kick." It's like, well, what do you want her to do? Actually kick her in the face?
What do you want her to fucking break Chelsea Green's nose her first night on national television? Come on, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, like Julia, again, just people need to shut the fuck up. Like, again, it's
guess what people, the same people that are bitching about that, right? Kenny Omega really doesn't connect on the guy's fucking face either. Let me show you, let me put you on a little secret. Kenny Omega grabs the guy's hands and fucking pulls his knee straight into between the guy's neck and shoulder. Right. Give me a fucking break.
I don't know. If they're mad about that, wait till Stephanie VaCour and Delta come to WWE. Like, they're going to work that WWE style, which, I hate to break it to you people, it's actually safer. it prolongs the wrestlers' careers. Sorry to break it to you. Like Julia, I mean, again, I don't know much about Julia. I'm only going off what people have told me, what Jess have told me, that she's great. Okay, well then I need to. I want to see how she does in WWE. I'm looking forward to what she does. But obviously a professional, and she knows how to pull back her kicks because she knows she's not in Japan anymore. So
and a lot of these girls are green that she's gonna be working with. So like,
oh yeah,
it would behoove her not to hurt these girls, So yeah, that's for her and Miss Fakura as well, because I love Stephanie. Stephanie is the perfect hybrid wrestler, and I'm sorry to say it, but they're gonna have to slow down for a lot of these other girls, man.
And they know it,
but they're gonna have to.
It's like it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because
shit. Stephanie Vicure had to slow down for Mercedes Banks.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean?
He's out wrestling her.
Right. It's a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation, because if they slow it, like they're gonna slow it down, you're gonna have the hardcore fans bitch about it. Like, oh, she had a perfect match with fucky Faith at Japan Part 3 United thing, and if she ends up kicking her in the face, you're gonna have the ones being like, oh, she's unprofessional. So it's just like, obviously they're professionals, and they know they have to work a slow down style. They know that. They know what they signed up for. So again, just people bitching about things that I don't know. Wrestling fans are weird.
You're never gonna please every wrestling fan.
No, wrestling fans are weird. Like, we're wrestling fans. I'm weird, but I know I know what these people have signed up for, so I'm not gonna bitch about it. But yeah, just Julia, obviously a very strikingly beautiful woman, like very beautiful. She's half Italian, half Japanese. Like, that's that's an interesting combo. I'll just leave it at that. But
definitely is. Definitely is. Not every day that you hear that.
But yeah, again, I'm not familiar with her work. I just know her name. I just know what people have told me. What did you think about her debut on both shows?
That's fine. I thought it should have been the main event too, honestly. That NXT, because I thought I thought Roxanne gave Jada Parker obviously the best match of her career so far.
Agreed.
And I thought perhaps that probably should have closed the show.
Mm-hmm.
Especially given that nothing happened in the main event that was worth like rewatching again anyways. So I mean, that probably should have closed it out. But now I like Julia. I'm familiar with her work, her stuff with DDM, with a couple of the other chicks and everything like that. Like, a lot of people in my circle, the Dragon in particular, they're all Stardom guys, like Kodak, Machete, and fucking Jackson. They all love Stardom. So I hear about Unagi and fucking Julia and this one and that one and Momo and Mina. I knew about Mina Shirakawa years ago because they kept on sending pictures in the group chat. I'm like, hold on, who's this busty ass Japanese lady? Like, God, Jesus, damn, man, But yeah, no, Julia is a thug. It's a thug for sure. She don't play no shit, man, and she's cool, mad cool. She changes up her look a lot. So I don't think she's gonna be stagnant in that department. She has an aura to her. Obviously, English ain't gonna be her strong suit right out of the gate, but I think with her having like a unique like presence and charisma to her, like a physical charisma,
right?
I think she'll do well, and plus she can wrestle. So like it's all gonna boil down to, can she adapt to wrestle these girls down in NXT and then on the main roster? I think that's what it boils down to. And if she's a professional like we think she is, then there should be no issues.
Right. Definitely right on all points. But yeah, going back to Jada Parker, again, I thought she looked great in the match with Roxanne. I love Jada Parker.
Me too.
I was a little confused at first about the matchup, because I'm like, you're gonna have two heels, and Justin was like, well, she's gonna be a face for the match. Like, yeah, good point, I guess. I like the fact that she's not. I like the fact that she's not.
Oh, I was going to say she's been kind of teetering tottering as a babyface as of late though on TV though.
Right. No, but I was saying like I like the fact that she's not like waving the white flag. I'm like I'm the good guy. Like she's getting over, obviously, but she's still kind of has that swagger of like a tweener in some aspects, where she's like, I know how much of a badass I am. Like she's not doing the ever since I was a little girl, blah blah, storyline.
No, I don't want her to do that either.
Nah, like she's like saying like I was a D1 soccer player and I got signed by WWE. I know how good I am. And Roxanne, called that out saying like, oh, I've heard that story before from Lola Vice, from everybody else. And, she's putting her shit over and you see Jada in the corner being like, yep, go ahead. So I like that she still has that swagger to her. And, I don't know, poor OTM. Like, that's all I gotta say. Like, OTM, it seemed like they're trying to put the gas behind them. And then Jada, they're like, oh, we're going to put Jada with you as, like, a centerpiece. And Jada has gotten more over than them. And granted, was it Bronco's dating Lola Vice, so that's a notch in his cap. But,
Big Bronco. He's riding the horse all right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like with David Flair. You say what you want about David Flair, he dated Stacey Keebler. Like, that's a notch in his cap. But, just OTM, just like, I hate to say poor OTM. It's not like they're fired or anything, but it's like, damn, Jada.
One of them's hurt too.
Right.
Big Boy he's been battling some injuries,
and
then he had a busted nose for a while there, and I think he's battling another injury.
Right. But I mean, it's not the first time you put a valet with a tag team and the valet got over. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Jada's obviously doing great. So far, she's my pick for most improved. She's going to be a star.
Valid. Very valid.
She definitely has the swagger. She can talk. She has the personality. Needs to get better in the ring. She's not terrible in the ring, but again,
she needs to piece the pacing together.
Yes.
And you got something. You got something there. You got a star.
Oh yeah, she can be an NXT champion by next year.
My God, she could be the champion of my heart too. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Miss Parker.
Oh my God. That's what DMX was talking about when he said, "Here comes the boo."
X gonna give it to you.
Oh man.
But I'm just
she's got it going on.
I don't know. The NXT women's division it seems like an embarrassment of riches because you got Jada Parker, you got Solka.
Oh my God!
I mean, obviously you got Roxanne. Roxanne's great, but I'm just talking about like the rest of the division. Fallon Henley, I was kind of surprised by because I was like, she should be a champion by the end of the year, and now they put her with,
she's beating Kalani for that belt.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what I saw. That's what I saw the other day. I'm like, she's definitely beating Kalani for that belt.
I'm fine with that. Kalani.
I'm fine with that too. Kalani Jordan is not doing it for me as champion, bro.
Yeah, Kalani. We talked about it on Sunday, where I kind of, again, just me being nitpicky. Like I love Kalani, but Kalani needs a personality change, not necessarily a heel change. But just to kind of tweak her personality. I know Justin was like, not everyone needs a gimmick. I'm like, yeah, true, but she needs something because
she's not memorable.
She's too happy-go-lucky. She's too happy-go-lucky heel. And we were saying the same thing about Roxanne not even a year ago. Like she was too happy-go-lucky, and now look where she's at now.
You know what? With Roxanne, I didn't mind it though because it fit her whole aesthetic, anyways. Right. Her trying to be a mean girl now is really don't buy it. But okay, I mean, there's an evolution there, so fine, whatever. But Kalani, no, man, she needs something else, man. She needs something else, something. I don't know what it is.
So
maybe she needs to start studying some mellow tapes or something. I don't know.
I was gonna bring that up. So like Jeff Lippman brought up the idea of like, what if the fame gets to her head, and you see her show up in NXT with like fur coats and expensive cars, and everyone's like, you've changed, Kalani. She's like, I didn't change. I'm still the same Kalani. And then you can bring, like not physically, but bring Carmelo into the equation where she's like, my man, told me to know my own worth, and I know my worth, and I'm just that damn good. Like nobody's as
Yeah.
good as me, in year 2 than they were in year 8. So you can definitely do that with her.
Yeah. I mean, he calls himself one of one, and she calls herself one of a kind. So,
Like, I
hey,
mean, you can have
not
Carmelo show up to one of the shows and talk to her, be like, baby, you need to know your worth. Your boyfriend doesn't miss, and neither does my girl. Like, you can do something like that. So,
this dick didn't miss you last night.
kind of.
Uh,
I mean, I can see it. I can see it work. I mean, she even has the saying, nobody does it like Lonnie or something like that. Like that sounds like a heel thing to do, a heel thing to say. But what do I know? Yeah, NXT is delightful every week. It's a good show.
You know what though? Don't be surprised if that doesn't if that does happen soon though, because one thing I say about Shawn Michaels will experiment with baby facing heel turns.
Right.
He will to see which works out better, and that's what you have to do. And that's what, to me, that's where Triple H failed at right there. It's not trying to find people's strengths. He was just concerned about booking the matches and this, that, and the other, and instead of trying to find ways that people could be an asset to his company or to Vince, in my opinion. But Shawn Michaels is finding a way to do that, and that has to be commended. I didn't think Wesley would ever work out as a heel, especially since he ain't beating on women on the indies.
Let me ask you about that, the Wesley heel turn, because
Right.
I've been kind of like mixed about the heel turn, because and I keep bringing up Jeff Lippman as an example because Jeff Lippman, that's our boy. He brought it up as far as the heel Uncle Lippman. He brought up the heel turn. He brought up something that I never really thought of before, and I was just kind of like racking my mind, like why isn't this heel turn not working the way I want it to? And he brought it up, like for him, he said it felt forced, and whenever you saw Wes and Wentz in the ring going at it, it looked like they were trying to like hold back laughter. Like it didn't seem like they were really committing to the feud. And I was like, yeah, there you go. Like that's what wasn't working for me, because it made sense, because it's just like, where do you go from here if these guys aren't really going to be the tag team champions? And what else can you do with Wes? Because as much as I like Wes, like for every fucking time Wes would lose a match, he would cry. He would get in the ring and cry about it, threaten to retire, blah blah blah. It's just like, okay, dude, like come on, like
Yeah,
like the Kevin Castle comes out of me where I'm just like, dude, stop being a fucking bitch, stop being a beta male bitch. Like, come on, like just come on. And then Wentz, I'm obviously happy for him and his success in TNA. He's married, or he's about to marry Gigi Dolan, so he's winning at life. He's winning at life and wrestling.
Dude, I hate that guy.
Hate him.
Son of a bitch.
It's no fair, RJ. It's no fair. But
it's not fair. It's not fair.
It's not fair. God damn it. No, but I mean, again, I'm still pissed off about how he got fired, and fuck Kimberly.
Yeah, me.
I gotta say that every now and then. Fuck Kimberly. But
where's she at now? Where's she at now?
Probably doing
Where's
crack
she
or
at?
something. I don't know. Fuck her.
Where's
But
she at now, like my point exactly. Nowhere to be seen or heard. Good.
But yeah, just it was one of those things of like, yeah, keep the Rascals together and don't rush these tag team title matches. Like,
I think Shawn Michaels wanted the shock factor,
right?
And I think he wanted to see what Wesley can do as a heel. And if it doesn't work out, don't be surprised if Wesley has a come to Jesus moment where he's crying again on TV.
Oy.
My words. Zach, Trey, I'm sorry. But you know what though? I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that though. I'm very confused on that, because he's got to fight both of these guys.
Right.
Myron Reed is not signed to a TNA contract though. This boy about to have a baby with Killer Kelly, that cock prick bastard.
Ours are just hating today. Hating.
Son of a bitch, Myron. Typing Killer Kelly down and got it pregnant. You son of a bitch. But you lucky motherfucker. But yeah, that would have been a opportunity to bring him in, man. And then maybe him and Wesley could have teamed up against Trey and Wentz, though. And Myron Reed could have been like, well, shit, like, y'all couldn't even give me an impact gig permanently. Like, fuck y'all, I'm on his side. And they could have done the Rascals, like, Civil War or some shit like that. But I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. Because, like I said, Wesley's got to fight both of these guys. He's got to fight Trey at some point because he beat his ass, too. And, like, if he screws both of the Rascals over, he's going to have Wesley's back. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who has his back. I don't think Shawn Michaels is going to bring in Sami Callihan or anything like that. So,
no.
Otherwise, I mean, but Callihan would make sense though because he helped train all those guys. So, like from a story standpoint and realistic, just knowing that story behind the scenes, it would make sense. All those guys are Ohio boys for the most part. So, I mean, as disgusting as it would be to see him on NXT TV, it would make sense, but. I don't know. Wesley's going to need some backup, though. He's going to need some backup against those guys. But I just thought that Shawn Michaels wanted to see whether Wesley can do it as a heel or not. And I have to say, though, Shawn Michaels passed up the opportunity to sell some MSK shirts and some Rascal merch.
Yeah.
He jumped the shark on that one, for sure.
Yeah, it was rushed. Like, to me, it was rushed. I think they really should have taken their time with this feud, but again, like you said, it's probably the shock value thing of like, oh, let's see if it works, which is just like, it doesn't really work in wrestling all that much. But
yeah, all sometimes it just doesn't work out the way you want it to work out. And I mean, I'm grateful that Shawn Michaels realized that some shit needs to happen on these shows. I think Triple H forgot about that. There's more to life than the actual wrestling match, and that you have to do something that leaves people talking at the end of the show. At least Shawn Michaels gets that. I'll give him that. Even if sometimes you go, well, how the fuck does Shawn do that? But at least he'll do it, damn it. He'll do it. So I'll give him credit for that.
All right, so we're done with the NXT portion. Do you want to do all-out predictions for this weekend?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you got the card. I don't.
Yes,
have
sir.
It.
I have it right.
Prepared for that.
I have it right now.
Right.
So all out is this Saturday. So far, there's 8 matches. I know me and Justin were kind of. I was asking Justin, like, do you want to do a post show? Because again, it's AEW. It was easier to do it for All In because it was an earlier show. For All Out, it's going to start at 6, and depending on how many matches there are. So far, there's 8. If there's less than 10, we'll definitely do a post show. Depending on how late the show goes. If it goes past 9 or 10, I don't think we're gonna do it. But we're just kind of playing it by ear because we didn't do a show this week or yesterday. I mean, because we did 3 shows last week, and I was just like, hey, let's just take the week off. So I mean, again, if the show ends before 10-ish, or if it ends maybe a little early around 10, maybe. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. But All Out is going to be this Saturday. It's going to be in the Hoffman Estates in Illinois at the Now Arena, September 7th. Let's look at the card real quick. We have Will Ospreay versus Pac for the AEW International Championship.
Will Ospreay retains.
Oh, yeah,
should be a banger of a match. Should be a banger of a match. Probably match of the night, honestly.
It'll be the best match of the year. It'll be 6.5 stars.
Nah, I mean, I ain't gonna go all Dave Meltzer on it, but Will Ospreay is a really good hard-hitting wrestler. He's more than just the flips and the tricks. A lot of people would never give him the credit for that, but Ospreay and Pac should have a good hard-hitting, but a nice, they'll do their flips too, but this should be a really good hard-hitting contest, though. I'm looking forward to it. I think it really does have the chance to be the match of the night, given who's involved.
I like Ospreay. I like his matches. He's kind of grown on me a little bit. He needs just me being nitpicky as usual. Sorry, people.
Yeah.
Needs a little fine tuning, but he's grown on me. I do like his matches. I liked his match with MJF at the last pay-per-view. So it's just weird with Ospreay. I want to like him as a person, but then he kind of puts his foot in his mouth and just says some really ignorant and kind of dorky shit, in my opinion. But kind of like the scrum recently, where like he sees Meltzer and he's like, "Meltzer, what's up, bro?" I'm just like,
yeah, I saw that. I'm like, oh, come on, man.
Like, dude, you were doing fine. That just kind of made you look like a dork to me. But
yeah, I know. I said the same thing, and somebody was in my. It was in the comment section. So come on, man, you can't do. I'm like, nah, caping over another grown ass man who has no significance whatsoever. That's weird behavior to me, bro. Like, nah.
I don't know. Again, I don't think he's a bad person. I just think he's kind of a dork. Just my opinion. Yeah. But
it's fine. Most wrestlers are dorks.
Yep, especially when you go to AEW. AEW World Tag Team Championship: The Young Bucks versus Blackpool Combat Club, Audio, and Wheeler Yuta. This is my not watching match. So, what do you think?
I think the Young Bucks are going to win, and that is that.
All right, we'll just leave it at that.
Leave it at that.
Chicago Street Fight: Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander.
Statlander won that first match. I think Willow Nightingale she'll retain the title and get the win here. I just think CMLL, they love Willow. They love Willow, and I think that's their call to make. Willow keeps the belt.
Yeah, like Willow, she's one of those people I'm like, please go to WWE when your contract comes up. Like, please. This 4-way for the AEW Continental Championship. Okada versus 3 to be determined.
Come on, we know who the 3 are. They already taped television already, right?
I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, shit, I don't know. Who's in the match?
Okada's winning, so my guess is whoever it is, Okada's going to return.
Yeah. Most likely. Yeah, yeah. If they're smart, they'll put the belt on Takeshita, but what do I know?
Yeah, you're not.
That guy needs something. Come on, man.
Yep. Let's see. MJF versus Daniel Garcia, singles match.
This one's kind of tricky, man, because if Garcia has not re-signed, I don't see a reason that Tony Khan should put him over. If he has re-signed, though, I think he's beating MJF.
Which that will be fucking horrible to me. Like, I get
what you're coming from, but from a book, like Tony Khan sees something in Daniel Garcia. He wants to push the hell out of the dude, and I think him getting a win over MJF on pay-per-view, that's a way to get the ball rolling on it, so to speak.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But if he has not re-signed, I think MJF was gonna win.
I think Daniel's gonna resign. If he goes to WWE, he doesn't really have much of a ceiling. Like his ceiling to me is NXT. Like I don't see him on the main roster personally. Me and Justin talked about this where there's only a few people in AEW that have that kind of look of like they can go to the main roster and it'll look believable. MJF, Ricky Starks, Wardlow, Hobbs. As far as like people that haven't already been in WWE, like, you know what I mean? Like Hangman Page, I think if he goes to WWE, they'll like make sure to erase his bad habits because I think he has a look at least, even though I think he's a bitch, but that's just me. But I just, again, that's just me. That's just my opinion. But Daniel Garcia, I think he signed with AEW because I think loyalty also plays into an effect of Tony Khan gave him a start and he's pushing him. And the dance, does he even still do the dance anymore?
Never seen him do it the last few times he was on TV. He's been pretty serious for the most part.
So yeah, they're pushing him. They're putting him in a feud with MJF, who's their biggest star. But I just either way, he should not be beating MJF. But again, I'm not the booker.
I agree, but come on, you got to realize who the booker is here.
Exactly.
and he loves favorites.
Yep. All right. Next is the singles match for the AEW TBS Championship. Camille is barred from ringside. Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida. Mercedes Moné is winning. So
I mean, come on, you could bet the ranch on Mercedes Moné. Come on,
right.
predictable.
AEW World Championship. Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry.
All right, come on. Once again, Danielson. There's no way in the world Tony Khan's going to take the belt off of Danielson and put it on Perry. Especially when he's got another money-making match and Danielson and fucking Darby coming up soon after that. And the possibility of running maybe a Swerve and Danielson rematch in Washington in both of those guys' backyards. But they want to try to sell out that show? No fucking way. They're putting the belt on Jack Perry.
No.
No way.
No. That'll, like, if you want to talk about the downfall of AEW, like, do that. Like, just do that. That will not work. Again, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Jack Perry's fucking horrible. Like, to me, the whole, he's a badass. He has a beard. He looks like Danny Masterson, which is not a good thing. It's just, I don't know. People want to like it. That's fine, but I don't buy it at all. Jack Perry is not intimidating.
I don't buy him as a badass, but I do like the whole aesthetic of the scapegoat stuff, though, and him trying to tap into being Raven, kind of a little bit. Like, I'm not saying he's cutting promos or like trying to be like Raven, but like the whole aesthetic with him having the curly hair, him stretching his arms out, like him tapping into like the whole darker look. I kind of like the aspect of it, but the thing you said, the believability, him being a badass, that's where I kind of draw the line. I can't get jiggy with it because he's not a believable looking badass. I'm sorry, like you can.
And I saw the clip of Jon Moxley having a face off with him, and I'm like, I don't even like Jon Moxley, but come on, I don't know, that to me that gave me AIDS. Watching that gave me AIDS.
Was that bad? Was that bad?
Like Jon Moxley, who can't even like beat some guy working at Lowe's in a fucking sparring MMA match, like he can fucking beat up Jack Perry. Like CM Punk, who's like 0-2 in MMA fights, can still beat up Jack Perry. It's, I don't know, just that to me the whole thing about Jon Moxley's intimidated, by Jack Perry. It's like yeah. AIDS.
I'll take Jon Moxley and the sloppy punches over Jack Perry trying to be a badass any day of the week.
I'll take Titty Master Dean Ambrose over Jon Moxley any day.
I just think they need to tweak the character a little bit. If they tweak it to where he's a chicken shit, he's really escaping as the GOAT. Like that could work. Maybe even having like Anna Jay with him, that can work too. Like as I'm sorry to say it, but somebody slutty by his side, like that worked. That'll work. That'll give him some legit heat. He can hide behind her big ass, and you can call it a goddamn good day. A good day, mate. But him just badass. Like, come on, man.
I don't know.
You legitimately weigh 125 pounds. Come on, man.
I'll take an actual GOAT over Jack Perry. Like that's more believable to me. So. But again, moving on.
Yeah, Danielson will do his job and try to carry on to a good match. So
exactly. Main event.
At least that part will be worth it.
Right. Main event will be an unsanctioned lights out steel cage match, hat on a hat, basically. Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Page. So the story going into this. So Wednesday, they did. Not necessarily a bit, but Swerve put on social media that he bought his childhood home with help from Prince Nana, which I saw that. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Not really expecting that it was going to play into the feud. So on Wednesday on Dynamite to close the show, Hangman Page showed that he was sitting outside of Swerve's childhood home. And then burnt it to the ground. So I'm assuming again it's AEW booking. That's why I have to say this. But so Hangman Page is obviously the heel.
Mm-hmm.
Swerve is on paper is supposed to be sympathetic babyface.
He was the
Yep.
one that instigated this man's downfall and his actions.
Right.
So it's kind of confusing. It's kind of confusing. So, I'm not sure who I'm supposed to root for here.
Right.
Both guys on paper are shitty people.
Exactly. Like, it's who are we supposed to root for? Like, I don't know. Like, are we supposed to root for fucking? I'm trying to think of villains from like anything. Are we supposed to root for Thanos or Killmonger? Like, who has a better point?
Yeah,
like, who are we rooting for?
I don't know. Like,
are we rooting? Are we rooting for home? Are we rooting for Homeland?
Right. The unhinged cowboy versus the rap mogul. Like, neither guy is like really sympathetic. I mean, both guys are. I mean, Hangman is justifying his actions, towards Swerve. So I guess maybe that it all started with Swerve rocking the boat and fucking breaking into his house to begin with. But Hangman Page hasn't been going about it the right way either. So, like, I mean, neither guy is really sympathetic. Justified, but neither guy is really sympathetic. So I'm lost. I'm lost here.
I was gonna say, like, do we root for Homelander or Butcher? Like, who are we rooting for exactly here?
Yeah, that's another good one too.
I don't know. I guess on paper you give it to Page because Page has been getting bitched out in this feud.
He's lost Swerve twice already.
So you want to give Page something at least. And again, I'm not the biggest Page guy, but I'll say this: they've tweaked his character and made him unhinged and somewhat interesting. Because for a while, Page, you weren't really sure what his character was. Like, he started out as a drunk and he was mad at the Young Bucks for some reason. And then he became the champion, and then he just was there. And everything with CM Punk. And then now he kind of has a character somewhat because he's unhinged and Swerve is fucked with him and he feels like there's no justice. So I don't know. It's one of those things like, who are we rooting for? Who's the heel? Who's the face? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess if I had to choose, I'd give it to Page.
Yeah, and he's attacked other baby faces and whatnot too. So, like, people that have nothing to do with the issue. So I mean, it's a close call. I mean, this is a close call. It's not even a close call. Like, I don't even know, but I do like the character though. One thing I'll give him credit for is that he's tweaked it. He's tweaked his character. It's interesting because you don't know what he's gonna do next, and that's always fun in wrestling. When you just think you know what somebody's about to do, and then they take it a step further. I did not call that house getting burnt down. I thought at least maybe they would do an angle where he broke into it and shit like that, but burning it down, man, oof, that took the cake. They OD'd on that heavily, but
it was unexpected. I'll give him that. Like, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I think Hangman has to get the win here, and I think Swerve will probably have to get another win back over him, especially if. I think Swerve is going to beat Danielson for the belt and get it back in Washington. That's just the feeling that I got.
What about Christian?
I think Christian got no shot.
Well, I mean, he won that thing, so.
Yeah, I think I
mean, I look at it like this because he says he wants to win every belt in AEW, and so he has. Except for the trios tag titles, but not like the actual tag titles. But yeah, just I wouldn't be surprised if they put the title on him for a bit.
I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, but I don't know. Christian, and I love Christian. Don't get me wrong, but they really need to be putting a championship on a 50-year-old Christian. And I love Christian. I'm a big Christian fan. I'm one of those rare guys that loves Christian more than Edge. I fucks with Christian heavy, but
Agreed.
do we need to be putting the the world title on Christian, especially when we're all about AEW with the best wrestler. You know, Christian's past his prime. Look, hey, like I said, I'm a huge fan, but I gotta call it like I see it, even if I love the guy.
Right.
Christian's past his prime, man. Come on, man.
I mean,
the world title on somebody that's wearing a turtleneck. Come on, man.
I guess in a storyline perspective, it makes sense because Swerve can have his big moment in Seattle, and then Christian comes in and cashes in, and he can be like, you have no father, you had no home, now you have no title.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that can be a storyline heading into, whatever pay-per-view is coming up. But, yeah, I think it makes sense for Page to win this, and then Swerve can get his heat back, like you said, at the Seattle pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all.
I think all roads just lead to that Seattle pay-per-view. Wrestle Dream.
When is that?
Wrestle Dream is in October.
Oh shit! So barely a month. All right, makes sense. So that's a lot, people. Me and Justin might do an all-out post show depending on how late the show goes. If it ends like probably around like 9:40 ish, or that's probably hoping for too much. But if it ends like maybe 10 ish, let's say anytime before 10:30. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But if it ends like around 11, no, we ain't doing it. We're just going to save it for the Wednesday show. But so that's all the wrestling news we have. So let's get into some comic book news. And there's some rumors, there's some news. And we'll just talk about it like we always do. So this is kind of wrestling and comic books. So Damian Priest was on Chris Van Fleet, I believe this week or last week. And he had talked about how he was originally supposed to be in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. And he talked about it, he says it's a long story, but basically it got taken away from me, though not by Marvel. Chris Van Fleet wanted to clarify that the previous regime, when Vince McMahon ran the company, did not let him appear in the hit Marvel movie. He suggested Damian could appear in another Marvel movie. Priest agreed, but noted that if he appeared in the movie, his career may have gone differently, and he may not have won the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 40. He says, I feel like it could happen now. It's funny because now I'm busier than ever. But look, I'm good with it. Maybe I do something different, go on a different route. And I'm not sitting here with you as the world champ. I mean, being a world champion, I won a world champion at WrestleMania, and blah, blah, blah. He just goes on to kind of repeat the same thing. But Brandon Davis, I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work. Used to work with comicbook.com. Now he's kind of his own man. I know Julian Cannon's kind of good friends with him. He had but he had said that pretty much Damien was supposed to be a henchman, and I forget the name of the character, but one of Namor's henchmen was that dude wearing like the big ass hat, and he had like the hammer with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of who he was supposed to tap to play. I know people have been insinuating that he was supposed to be Namor. I'm like, no, he wasn't going to be Namor. Trust me. Like,
no fucking way. No.
I know Ryan, what's his name? Ryan Coogler had his eye on oh boy to be Namor for a while, even before Chadwick had passed away. But yeah, Damien was supposed to be the henchman, which, I mean, his comments kind of make sense because, at the time Damien was, on the roster and he wasn't in the position he's in now. So yeah, his comments make sense that, who knows where my career would have went. But, he's doing good now on the main roster. He's kind of presented as a top guy. But yeah, this is the first time you hear this kind of story happening that, Marvel had to kind of cut a roll because of the old regime. Like, I know Becky Lynch, it was rumored that she had a Marvel role. And from what I heard, she was supposed to be in the Eternals, but her role got cut. I think it had to do with the old regime. Seth Rollins, it hasn't really been confirmed, and he hasn't confirmed it yet, but he's supposed to be in Captain America 4 as one of the members of the Serpent Society. But, Marvel essentially had to reshoot the whole movie, and that's when they added in Giancarlo as the leader of the Serpent Society, but it hasn't been confirmed if Seth's role has either been reduced or cut. And he hasn't really said anything either. As far as I know, he's still listed as, part of the cast. So, but any thoughts on that?
on Damian Priest's role getting cut? I mean, or him not getting the role, or just in general the old regime just cutting roles
I guess just
or pulling people from roles?
in general.
Well, the whole thing is they didn't want anybody to be bigger than they didn't want another Rock and Cena situation again. They don't want anybody to be bigger than the WWE. Whereas now, as Triple H is just he's laxed about it. He really doesn't give a shit. So, a lot of you see a lot of wrestlers nowadays on the WWE roster. They're hiring talent agents and stuff like that. You've been seeing that a whole lot. I think Tiffany, I think Priest, and a couple others recently signed up with this talent agency. So it's becoming more often that some of the people on the roster are getting movie roles and whatnot, and that's fine. That's cool. That's dandy. But yeah, I just think it's lousy. And obviously, Vince didn't want another Rock situation where he couldn't control. He was in a position where he couldn't control the Rock anymore.
Which according to Triple H, that was actually his idea. Like he brought him into a room and told Rock and Triple H, "Hey, go out and make movies." And The Rock wanted him to be The Rock, but Triple H was like, "So you don't want me wrestling anymore? Like I don't get what you want me to do." But continue.
But I don't think Vince expected The Rock to take off the way that he did.
Right.
Because The Rock did pitter patter roles into Scorpion King, and then boom, this guy is in Hollywood now, and Vince can't control that, and so I just think that Vince wanted control, and he didn't want any of the stars to be bigger than the WWE. Nobody should be bigger than the WWE, and that was it. It sucks, but that's it. And unfortunately, Becky Lynch and Damian Priest paid the price for that, and poor Seth Rollins. Finally, a nice break. I mean, it remains to be seen whether he's still in the film or not, but he had a nice little role, something that kind of fit him, given his character and everything on TV, and just to get cut like that, crazy. But yeah, no, I just think that's it's just Vince wanting to have control, and he didn't want anybody to be bigger than WWE ever again. And well, karma comes back around, don't it? In a lot of funny ways. So
yeah, I mean, you look at Drew McIntyre is going to be in another, or not another, but he's going to be in a movie coming out in theaters with Batista. The Killer's Game, which is made by the same people who made John Wick. So I saw a trailer for it. I'm like, oh, that looks like it could be fun. But it's not going to be a great movie. It's going to be fun though.
It looks like some of the violence look a little goofy.
Yeah.
You seen the Red Brand trailer for it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Violence looked a little goofy.
Right. But yeah, it's with Batista, who has gone on to be a great actor, not just a movie star, but he's become obviously the best actor that was a wrestler.
By the way, what is going on with his weight, number one, and his lips? Holy shit!
I mean, old age. That's the best way I can put it.
Like, why does his lips look all like Botoxed and shiny?
I mean, it's Hollywood, bro. Like,
I don't know. He looks weird, man.
I mean, I chalk it up to this. Like, he's not wrestling anymore. He's not doing Drax anymore, so he feels like he doesn't need to be huge anymore, even though he's like a naturally big guy. But as far as like the lips things goes, I don't stare at other men's lips. But like him,
nah, man. But this is striking. I just saw the movie poster for the movie, and they have the two-sided poster where the girl's hugging him. And she has the grenade, and then he's hugging her, and he's got the gun in his hand, and his lips is just right there. I'm like, dude, why does Batista's lips look all Botox? I don't know.
Again, maybe it was a personal thing. Maybe he didn't like the way his lips looked. I don't know. I don't know. People in Hollywood are self-conscious about everything. Like, you're gonna have people that are going like, I don't like the way that looks. Let me fix it. Or you're gonna have people get in their ear and be like, hey, this guy has better lips than you. Maybe you should get lip and I don't fucking know. I can't really come up with a, you know what I mean? Like I can't really come up with a explanation that makes sense. Like it's just
Right.
it is what it is. I look at it as like if you have the money, fix it.
Yeah.
And it's like
I guess so.
it's like with John Cena. It's like John Cena, you have money. Like, can you get hair plugs, please? It's noticeable.
Yeah. It's crazy. You got all that hair up top, and then god damn, you got a big ass bald spot. Like, just plug your hair up, dog, or just shave it bald.
I mean, maybe he's not self conscious, which good for John. Like John's one thing about John Cena, he's not self conscious about anything. Like, you know, he's fine with people booing him and telling him he sucks. He'll even take pictures with people saying, you know, Cena sucks. But John, we love you. Just get hair plugs, please. You have money. Like, come on. Like, come on, John. So that was one article I had. Where do we go next? I have a lot of articles. I might have to shave some of these down, but let's talk about something interesting. XMEN 97. Big hit. Big hit with the fans, big hit with Marvel. Nominated for some Emmys, actually. I know the actress, I believe the actress who voiced Rogue was nominated for an Emmy. And the show itself was nominated for an Emmy, too. And I believe the episode where, spoilers, you know, Gambit dies was nominated for Best Animated Episode. Or Directed, or whatever. But all in all, X-Men 97 was a big hit. A lot of its success goes to its creator, a fellow by the name of Bo DeMaio, who was let go, I believe a week before the show even came out. And there have been some speculation as to why. I know there was, you know, on-set behavior was attributed to it. Marvel was like, hey, we'll give you credit for the first season, but you're not coming back. And that was always kind of like a head scratch. I'm like, what did this guy do? Like, what did he do? Like, did he do something so heinous that he can't come back? So, Bo DeMaio put on Wednesday, September 4th, he took to his OnlyFans profile and shared a 30-minute long video. In it, he claimed Marvel's allegations against him were false, offensive, and part of a smear campaign. He said these allegations, and let me go back to the allegations just so people are up to speed. X-Men creator has accused his former employer of a toxic environment. Pretty much Marvel said that he was unprofessional on set. He was apparently harassing employees on set, as far as like sending even like lewd photos of himself to people. So Bo DeMaio put the rumors are being spread around me online are lies. They are offensive, but more concerning is that they're a smear campaign designed to discredit my credibility in order to cover up the egregious prejudicial misconduct stretching from select crew members on X-Men 97 all the way to the top of Marvel Studios. The studio later replaced him with Matthew Chauncey as writer for the third season. In August, DeMaio took to X. They claimed that Marvel fired him for posting an X-Men fan art on Instagram during Pride Month. He attached a screenshot of the post as well. In response, a Marvel spokesperson said that DeMaio was fired after an internal investigation reportedly uncovered egregious findings. The studio didn't explain the further matter, but Deadline cited Marvel sources mentioning that DeMaio faced the investigation due to allegations of sexual misconduct. Quoting Marvel sources further, the outlet stated that the company removed DeMaio's credits from the sophomore season because of violation of a separation agreement. However, in the video mentioned above, and it just kind of repeats everything that DeMaio said, he claimed that he was a witness of misconduct during his tenure in X-Men 97 and the Blade movie, and even experienced it firsthand. He accused the entertainment giant of creating near-criminal working conditions for the VFX and animation artists. He also listed the video several inappropriate comments that artists, producers, and Marvel executives made toward him or in his presence. Further, DeMaio's attorney, Brian Friedman, recently filed a lawsuit against Marvel to nullify the non-disparagement provision in his separation agreement. Notably, DeMaio plans to use OnlyFans to speak about what happened at Marvel. And that's all we got. So, definitely, just very much a he said, she said.
Mhm.
Yeah, Marvel saying, he was unprofessional, he was, you know, sexual misconduct, and then you have DeMaio screaming, injustice. Um, I don't know. It's not looking good on either accounts. I know in the past there's been a lot of talk with Marvel not treating their animation or VFX artists with the respect they deserve. Overworking them, which is why you see a lot of the VFX coming out not looking as good as they want it to be. Um, even before that, you're kind of hearing some things about DeMaio being very difficult to work with. Like he worked on The Witcher, I believe it was the first or second season, and you were hearing about him being unprofessional. I guess how you deem unprofessional, but the talk about him was that he would get mad at people for not taking the material more seriously for The Witcher. And then the same thing with the Blade movie, which he very briefly worked on. But yeah, just not looking good on either accounts. More so, not looking good for Bo. But what do you think about the whole situation?
Sounds like a giant mess to me. And like you said, he say she say shit. I heard that both from other people, that he's a weird dude. So the fact that maybe he's trying to get people to shake his hand while his dick is in his hand. That sounds right up the alley. If some of the things that I've heard about him being weird like that, if they are true, then I mean, kind of fits the bill. But I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't see it, so I just don't know. I don't know, man. He did a really good job on the first season of X-Men '97. Really good job, and it's a shame that he's not going to be back to see the rest of the vision that he started through. But I don't know. I just don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe them because Marvel was had some heat too. So I don't know. I really don't know. All I know is that he ain't getting credit for anything that's going to be happening for the next season of X-Men. So that's the sad part about it. But at least he can say that he gave us a really good first season of X-Men '97. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he has that
yeah,
notch.
Drew. But Drew, I just don't know what to believe.
Right. I mean, what else can we say? Because we have to use the words allegedly because we don't
Right.
allegedly he said she said because are you gonna believe Bo? You're gonna believe Disney, Marvel, even though they're not angels either. So I don't know.
Right.
It's weird. Like Disney's so weird because they pretend that they're all about diversity, but then you hear about them doing some weird shit. Like they're all about like, hey, inclusion, diversity, yada yada yada. So, and then like, supposedly he said that they got mad at him for posting a picture of him cosplaying for Pride Month. Like I don't know, that just sounds like a Disney thing to do, to be like, hey, we're all about diversity, but let's not show too much diversity. Like let's keep that in our movies. Like we don't need to know that people that work with us are actually, gay or whatever. Like I don't know, just Disney's so weird. They're such a weird company. And then like you said, you've heard stories about him being kind of a weird guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you haven't really heard too many people come to defense of this guy, and that's also kind of another thing that comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. It's definitely a he said she said. Like we can't really come up with we can't really come meet in the middle of like who do we believe, because both sides are equally as shady. Kind of keeping with the spirit of Marvel Studios. Allegedly, Marvel in the next few months is going to make a final decision about whether to keep either both movies or one movie between these two movies, and that will be Blade and Armor Wars. Blade, as you know, has been riddled with problems. They've gone through, I believe, 8 to 9 writers, 2 different directors. I know 2 actors have left. Delroy Lindo was supposed to be in it. He left, and there was another actor who's I don't know his name out of a police line. I couldn't pick his name out of a police lineup, but he left. Mahershala Ali is still very gung ho about, hey, I want to get this right, but it's been 5 years since this movie was announced, and they haven't shot anything, no principal photography, nothing. And it's just like, it's Blade. How do you have a hard time getting a Blade script right?
Exactly. Like I'm a fucking vampire hunting fucking other vampires and fucking werewolves, and how can you not get this right? How can I get this right?
No, it's like, I know there's been different scripts. One script was that Blade was supposed to be like the fourth character of the movie in a movie called Blade. No, that's ridiculous. And it's just I don't know. It's a head scratcher. It's just like, it's like with the Punisher. It's like, how do you not get a Punisher movie right? It's the Punisher. You know,
he kills people. Like, come on, what the fuck?
With Blade, it's like he's fucking Blade. He's half human, half vampire. He's a daywalker. And it doesn't help that Wesley Snipes came back in Deadpool Wolverine, and now there's rumors about them wanting maybe to do like a Logan-ish style movie for Wesley Snipes. So I don't know, man. Like and then you got Armor Wars. It was just like, listen, I love Don Cheadle, but why do we need an Armor Wars movie?
Yeah, we don't need that.
So I just
Armor Wars at best, dude. That should be a Disney Plus show at best. That should not be a film. Sorry,
which Don it was.
Don Cheadle is not. Nobody's checking for Rhodey like that in the movie theaters. I'm sorry.
No,
he's a side character. Like no.
Side characters need to be side characters. Not everybody. Exactly. Not everybody can be Sam Wilson, who went on to be Captain America in the comics. Like or. There's Miles Morales, like examples, like, or Nightwing, and it's DC, but you get my point. But
I do.
And again, love Don Cheadle, great actor, but just nobody cares about Rhodey. Like, Rhodey needs to be in other shit. Rhodey needs to be in what the fuck, Ironheart, as like
Ironheart, yes,
as like Riri's mentor.
Advisor. Yeah,
or put him in Captain America 4 as like, again, the advisor to Sam. Like, he needs to be like the political sides of Marvel. Like, put him in those kind of shows. Nobody wants to see an Armor Wars show. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. And I know people are gonna be like, "Well, have you seen a script yet?" Like, I don't care. I still don't care.
Exactly.
I still don't care.
Script. It's not about you put Sydney Sweeney up in that joint butt ass naked. Like, come on, nobody's checking for that. Come on.
No. So
stop it.
Just cancel both. Just, Blade has been riddled with problems. It's been 5 years already. AEW's still in business as long as Blade was announced 5 fucking years ago. Like, just cancel them both. Cancel them both. Yeah. Because you obviously don't know how to do a Blade movie in 2024, even though it's the simplest concept.
Fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. How can you not get that?
It's like Hollywood still wants to tell their stories. They want to do Blade's daughter, which is like, no one cares about that. Just make a fucking Blade movie. It's easy.
It's easy. Watch him blow up vampires and fucking like goblins or whatever. It's not that hard. I can write a Blade movie. Drew, you can write a Blade movie. How's this shit hard? How's it hard?
It's like, okay,
how is it hard?
Okay, RJ, fine. I'll direct Blade. And I'll have you as my writer.
Mashallah break his neck.
You know how Mahershala Ali like came out on Comic-Con and he put on the Blade hat? You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Like, as soon as they announce me as the director, Mahershala Ali just comes out and takes off the hat and puts it on the ground.
Oh, get the hell!
I ain't working with Drew Yari. Fuck that bitch. No,
Who the hell is Drew Yari?
God damn it! God damn Drew Yari!
Just he spits on that hat and stomps on it
and sets it on fire. No, yeah, just again, nothing against Mahershala, but I was already kind of questioning that decision. I'm like, granted, the guy looks great for his age, but do you really want to have this franchise rest on a guy who's nearing 50 and he's already 50? Like I don't know. Like it's not like a
Yeah,
page. It's not like a Pedro thing as Reed, where at least with that, all you're gonna be doing is acting in front of a green screen. You're not.
mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about him getting like jacked to the gills, like
Getting physical like that.
like Hugh Jackman, who's just like, does this guy ever age? Like Jesus Christ. But yeah, but with Mahershala, it's like I'm sure he can do the stunts, but it's like the dude's nearing 50. You know what I mean? It's like what you said about Christian Cage. Like, do you really want to put a belt on a guy who's 50 for a young upstart company? So I don't know. Just again, cancel both movies. No one cares about Armor Wars. Sorry, Don Cheadle, I love you, but no one cares about Rhodey that much.
Yeah,
and
just gotta call a spade, bro.
You know, I mean, we've talked about this before. Like, there's some things that Marvel needs to look at and goes, do people really want to pay money to see this?
Like I said, hey, Armor Wars at best, make it a Disney Plus show. Like, that's fine. Let's see what really happened between the time that we really last seen Rhodey and how he got kidnapped and this, that, and the other by a scroll or whatever. Let's see how his life has been impacted afterwards. Oh, that could be fun. That could be fun, but that's not worth a movie. No, it's not.
Right.
It's not. Sorry, it's not. It's not. It's just not. And I like Don Cheadle too. I think he's great. He's a legend. But come on, nobody's checking for Rhodey by himself.
No.
And it's not enough to carry a movie. And Riri Williams, I like the character. I'm looking forward to Ironheart, but like that's not enough to be a co-star for that movie either. It's just not. So like, what are we doing? Are we gonna really waste money on two characters that the audience is half invested in? Like, come on, and not or not even really in Riri's case. Like, come on, like.
Right.
No.
Like, I mean, if they brought back Justin Hammer, that'd be interesting because it's just like
They should bring back Hammer.
And I don't know why I'm blanking on the guy. Like, I think he's another good actor. It's almost
Sam Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. It's like, dude, that guy looked like he was. When they went back for What If, it looked like he was just having fun. They're like, hey, you want to be Justin Hammer, but you're also Hans Gruber in a What If Die Hard story? It's like, yeah, sure. Like, just there's certain people Marvel just has a weird boner about not bringing back. Like, you know, like Aaron Taylor Johnson. Like, why have they not brought him back as Pietro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought they were going to do that in Endgame, or I thought they were going to do that in fucking Multiverse of Madness. But no, they just have some weird boner about not bringing him back. Like, I have no clue why. But yeah, just
well,
you know.
I think we might have an answer. He's too busy being Sergei Kravenov.
Oh God. Okay, the new trailer for what it's worth, it at least looks good. It looks good. It looks interesting. If you go into it,
oh hell, man, holy shit!
If you go into it not thinking of it as a Kraven the Hunter movie, because again, this is just allegedly, but I believe it. Whenever Sony uses these characters, Marvel can't use them for Tom's movie, which is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You know, they can't use Morbius, they can't use Venom. I mean, they can probably use Venom, but not Eddie Brock. Which is just like, are you going to use Flash Thompson's Venom? Ugh. But no, I really don't know. But it looks decent. It's rated R. That was kind of my biggest bone of contention with a lot of these Sony movies, because like I looked at them, I was like, okay, they're horror movie characters, essentially. Like Venom is about body horror. You know, Morbius is the living vampire. Madweb was, I don't know what the fuck that was, but Kraven the Hunter is a hunter. So Venom, I think, should have been rated R at least, especially fucking Carnage. Like that broke my heart. But Morbius should have been rated R at least, because you can tell that was a movie
I think that would have been a whole lot more better.
Yeah, because like there was a lot of scenes in that movie where they had to cut away from violence, and I'm like, I have a feeling this is supposed to be rated R. But yeah, Kraven the Hunter is rated R from what I heard, because it originally was supposed to come out in June, but then the strike happened, and they had to push it back to December. So they ended up doing some reshoots to kind of fix the movie a little bit, which I'm like, okay, does Kraven actually have a Russian accent in this movie?
Sergey Craven.
In the new trailer, all you heard him speak Russian, but you didn't actually hear him talk in his actual accent. So it's like, okay, does he actually have a Russian accent? So I really don't know. Again, it's still silly that he got his powers by having a lion bleed in him. That's still silly as shit, but it at least looks halfway decent, and it might be fun. That's probably the best way I can think of it, is that it'll be fun to watch. But again, it creates another thing of like, how do you connect these villains to Spider-Man? If that's the idea. You know what I mean? It's like, let's take villains, but we're making them anti-heroes, but we want to connect them to Spider-Man. Kind of. Really. Maybe. So I really don't know. Unless the post-credit scene is Craven going, you know, I'm looking for the most toughest game in the world, and that's man. And then someone says, "Sir, here's New York. There's a Spider-Man in New York." It's like, okay. Is it Tom? Is it Andrew? Is it Toby? Who is it? It's obviously not Tom, if that's the case, but I really don't know. Again, it looks halfway decent. So
They gotta get the ball fucking rolling on it though.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more of these villain movies I can take.
No. And then of course Venom 3 comes out in October, I believe.
Yeah. I don't even know who the fucking villain is for that.
I don't know either. I was gonna say I think it's this guy, but I don't know.
Fucking jumped the shark on Carnage, didn't they?
They didn't just jump the shark; they fed the shark to another shark.
That is, yeah. You know what? That's more fair to say. I'm not even gonna hold you up.
They ruined Carnage for me. Like
they did. They ruined it. They ruined it.
You ruined it. That just broke my heart. That broke my heart, really.
Me and Morgan was crying. Like she literally was crying in my arms.
I had to apologize to Jeff Lippman because I tried to give it a good review, and Jeff blamed me for making him see that movie, and I had to re-review it, and I have to apologize to Jeff Lippman for this because this movie broke my heart.
Yeah, you put Unk through it.
I mean, the only thing worth a damn was that post-credit scene that went nowhere.
Absolutely nowhere, because they just fucking shit on it the next month, anyways, and it just all meant nothing in the end.
It's like whatchamacallit. Willem Dafoe just comes in and says, "Sit your bitch ass down."
Real men handle the job.
like they're just at the bar, and Venom and Eddie Brock's like, "Oh, are we going? No, we're going. You're staying put." There's no we in this shit.
No. Willem Dafoe, my man.
Alright, but yeah, that's that. What are some other news we have? Deadpool Wolverine still manages to stay strong. I believe they just broke another record for Labor Day.
Good.
For the Labor Day weekend.
It's a really good movie, and it deserves to be knocking out what they're knocking out right now.
Currently, they stand at $1.266 billion.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think they want to keep that in theaters for as long as they can, and to see if they can pass up Inside Out 2 as the highest grossing film of the year. And Inside Out 2, I believe, was like 1.5. So
I think they can get there.
I think so too, because there's still people that are like, "Hey, this is my 5th time seeing the movie," and surprisingly, there's people that haven't even seen it. I'm like, dude, I admire your restraint. I admire you staying off of social media. I wish I had that restraint. So I know my sister saw it like recently, a few weeks ago. I'm like, "Oy, how'd you stay off the internet? Jesus Christ." But yeah, good for Deadpool Wolverine. We saw it, me and the missus. We saw it last Friday for the second time, and we enjoyed it. We laughed just as much as we did the first time. Again, it's Deadpool Wolverine. I love it. What else can we say? What else can we say? What else can you say? You know, it's making that money. Marvel it's the highest grossing rated R movie of all time. It actually passed up The Passion of the Christ in the top 5. So Marvel Jesus defeated actual Jesus. Don't get offended, people. Just a joke. And it kind of segues into my next topic. Where's my next topic? Here we go. It passed up The Joker as the highest grossing rated R film of all time. And Todd Phillips, who's the director of the first movie and also the sequel, he shared a nice little post saying, just good company to be in. Good for Deadpool Wolverine. It was enjoyable. Not so much about the sequel, Joker Folie à Deux. I probably butchered.
Boy.
I probably butchered that, but the movie is getting mixed reviews, which I kind of expected. Not going to go through all of them, but I know a lot of them saying that it's dull. I know a few of them I've seen us say that Lady Gaga was underused, which is kind of weird because you would think that's Lady Gaga. She won an Oscar for that Star is Born movie, and I like Lady Gaga. I think she's a good actress. I think her music's, it's not for me, but it's catchy. Yeah. So yeah, just the idea of like they're going to bring her in to be another version of Harley Quinn. I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. Wasn't really happy about the idea of it being a musical. Again, I don't like musicals, people. I don't have a problem with music being in the film. I don't like musicals. It's not for me. It's for somebody else, obviously, but it's not for me. So I think that's kind of a big bone of contention with the movie, that it's a musical. Yes, so far it's not getting good reviews. I think it's at like a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, which gives a fuck about Rotten Tomatoes, but it's just the film's not looking good for most people. I'm probably not going to see it, more than likely. I wasn't really that big of a fan of the first Joker movie. Like, I thought it was a good movie. It's one of those movies I can't really explain, where it's just like I only watched it once, and that's it. I haven't gone back to revisit it. Came off a little pretentious to me, where it's like, here's an idea. It's a great idea. It's like, it's okay, I guess, but yeah, I haven't watched it since I watched it for the first time in theaters. I actually have it on Blu-ray, and I haven't even opened it yet. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on those situations? Oh, first of all, what did you think about the first Joker movie?
It was all right. I wasn't. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. Joker without Batman being involved, obviously. That was interesting, but it's not a movie that has a long-lasting impact on me. Right. It's not a movie that I go back and watch often. I think I only saw it twice, and that was pretty much it. And as far as like the sequel, my anticipation for it, I don't even know what the fuck is. What is it about? What is it about? Him getting Harley Quinn, obviously, but I mean, I don't know. I just really don't care. I'm kind of indifferent to it. Okay, I'll put it to you that way, because I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't really care about it, and it's not enough to move me, I should say. Yeah. Gaga being in it as Harley Quinn is kind of interesting, but besides that point, I really don't care, to be honest with you.
It seems like a movie that's going to divide people, because you're going to have the half that are going to love it, and you're going to have the half that hates it. I know there's been, like, I guess some people are like, it's just the red pill crowd and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes and no. Like, I know that crowd does exist, and you're going to have the people that are going to scream woke, which I don't know why you would call the Joker woke, but whatever. That's your bag, not mine. But it's not my bag, baby. But I look at it as just like, this doesn't seem like a film I want to watch, because again, I like musicals. I give anything a chance. I'm open-minded, and I don't use the word woke for anything because I'm not a fucking moron. But I look at it as a film. I'm like, yeah, I know who this is for. It's just not for me, because I wasn't that nuts about the first Joker film, and I'm not gonna be nuts about this. So I don't know. I probably won't watch it in theaters. I'll probably wait for it to come on streaming, but who knows? I don't know. We'll see. It's just not high on my list. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, same. It's not like a Spider-Man movie for me, you know. It's not like something. Oh my gosh, I gotta go to opening night, you know, or the day before opening night. Nah, it's just I really don't care.
Right. All right. I know you gotta get out here in a bit, so I'll make these
Yeah,
next few articles quick.
sorry to be a downer about that, but it's just yeah, it ain't moving me like that.
Hey, we're both being downers. We're keeping it balanced. I know you got to get out here in a bit, so I'll make these like next few topics quick. I had to cut a few just for time because we're going
Okay.
over 2 hours. But Green Lantern. There's going to be a
Hmm.
Green Lantern TV series on HBO.
Yeah,
I
the
think it's
lanterns.
Lantern Corps, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because the same people who did True Detective are doing the show, so they're treating it almost like a superhero, but like like a mystery crime show. Which I'm like, that's interesting.
It is interesting, yeah.
That's unique.
Yeah.
Um, the rumor, as far as like who's gonna be Green Lantern, or who they're offering it to, Josh Brolin. He's apparently being offered the role. He hasn't accepted anything yet, but he's apparently being offered the role of Hal Jordan. The lanterns on this show are going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, and I mean from the way it looks, as far as like not just Josh Brolin but also other candidates. I know the other candidates in mind were Matthew McConaughey, not Chris Pratt, Chris Pine, and Timothy Olyphant. And there's somebody else I'm blanking on. There's another name I'm blanking on, but Ewan McGregor. That's the other name.
Yeah.
So clearly they're going for older Hal Jordan. Okay, I'm like, all right, that's unique. I mean, because we all know what happened with the last Green Lantern movie. But
Oof.
yeah. So they're going for an older seasoned Hal Jordan. Okay, that's fine. We don't need to see another origin story. Not everything has to be an origin story. And the idea behind this is that Hal Jordan is going to be a mentor to Jon Stewart. Okay, fine with it. Josh Brolin, though, I don't know. Again, I like Josh Brolin. He's a great actor, but it's like, how many fucking comic book roles does this guy want?
Cable, fucking Jonah Hex. People forget about Jonah Hex.
I mean,
Cable. I mean,
Thanos?
Thanos. No, too much. Too much. So yeah, I think it's time for him to sit his ass on down. Ewan McGregor, he was Black Mask. Time to sit it on down too. Matthew McConaughey, that could be fun.
I think
If they
Chris.
go down that route.
I think Chris Pine might be a better choice, though.
Fine, if they want to go with somebody that's
Yeah, but he was in
Little-
DC already. Yeah, he was in DC.
yeah, he
already.
was, yeah. So I mean, McConaughey would be the choice by if we're going by that logic of who's had enough, who's had the tummy full already.
Timothy Olyphant I think could be a good choice.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a good actor and everything like that, and he could do shows. So he was unjustified for a long period of time. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think he might be the best choice to be honest with you, because McConaughey's up there in age. Oliphant's probably in his mid to late 40s, so he doesn't look old like that. So I
Right.
think he might be the best choice. To be honest with you, Brolin's old. Brolin's 60. McConaughey's up there too. Ewan McGregor, like I said, he was Black Mass, and that was recent. So at least Josh Brolin can say that Jonah Hex was like 15 years ago, and nobody remembers that movie because it was so goddamn awful. So, but he's had enough. So yeah, I would go with Oliphant, man.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of has the look. Like I said, if you're going by like doing like a crime, mystery kind of version of Green Lantern Corps, I mean, he was on Justified. I mean, I haven't seen I think I've seen one episode of Justified, and it was good. I might need to just like binge the whole series, but I heard it's like one of the best shows. Period. Like I know Draper like swears
a couple
by it.
episodes.
Yeah, FX usually puts out pretty good shows. But yeah, just I think Timothy Olyphant would be a good choice. Matthew McConaughey, I would love to see him do anything superhero related. I know he's kind of been dipping his toe in, like, yeah, I'll do a comic book movie. I just need to find the right role. I think the only thing that kind of holds back is he still has that kind of southern twang to him.
Hmm.
I guess at the story you want to tell about Hal Jordan is that he's from Texas or whatever, which wouldn't really be that big of a deal to me. It wouldn't be something where I'm just like, oh, this is taking me out of the movie. It's like, Matthew McConaughey can't break that accent no matter how hard he tries. So that's Matthew
You know
McConaughey.
what? You know what though? I think Matthew McConaughey would be a nice Jonah Hex
Hmm.
if they wanted to bring that back.
Right.
Southern twang, the distorted face. I think he could be a good Jonah Hex.
Right.
I think you can have fun with that character.
That'd be interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, we need a cowboy.
Hmm.
Like Matthew McConaughey's the perfect choice. So,
Yeah.
and he
And
and he and he was
I
just
can see him
Cowboy
owning
Pool,
that.
and he was just Cowboy Pool and Deadpool Wolverine. So it's like, but yeah, this. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to think of him as. It'd be unique for him to be Hal Jordan. And also you get Jon Stewart on live television, and Jon Stewart, became a huge hit with, in the Justice League cartoon. So I don't know. We'll see. As far as Jon Stewart goes, I know they have like some actors, being looked at as like final candidates. I know one of them he was on that show Snowfall. He was like the lead actor on Snowfall.
Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's a good actor.
He's a good actor too. Again, I can't really judge him too much because I only know him from one thing. And then there's another guy that was the guy who's supposed to be in Blade, and I don't know his name. Again, I'm blanking here. But I mean, personally, I'd rather have Idris. Not Idris. Well, Idris, I think would be a great Jon Stewart, but they're going for younger, Jon Stewart in training.
Yeah, Damson. You just
Sterling K. Brown, I think would be a perfect Jon Stewart, but again, he's a little older, so they're going to go for younger. So I don't know. They're James Gunn. He's in charge of DC, and I trust him to pick better choices or better actors. So I don't know. Again, but not Josh Brolin. Just don't give it Josh Brolin, please.
yeah, he's had enough. He's had enough. We got to spread the wealth.
He's had enough of that comic book money. He's not itching for it. Other news as far as the release dates. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say he's not hurting. He's not hurting.
He's got that Dune money. He'll be fine. Comic book shows coming out. Actually in the same week. So, Agatha All Along, coming out on September 18th. And for DC, The Penguin was coming out on September 19th. So, you're going to have that DC Marvel war coming out in the same week. So, cool.
I think the Penguin's gonna trounce that.
Oh, yeah. Agatha, I'll give it one thing. It looks different. It doesn't look like a Marvel show. It looks more like it looks more like a Disney show. That's a good thing. I say that as a compliment. The biggest complaint about a lot of these Marvel projects is that they all look the same. And now they're trying to at least have things that look different. And this looks different. And allegedly it's supposed to be TV-14. So maybe that could be cool. I mean, you can introduce a lot of horror aspects to it. I'm more hyped about it that Aubrey Plaza is in it. She's kind of playing, I guess, the villain, if she's a villain or whatever she's supposed to be, and it's Aubrey Plaza, so she's going to be great, and I love her and anything she does. So I'll watch it. Again, not looking forward to it, but I'm going to watch it. And the Penguin's obviously going to be huge. It's you got Colin Farrell, who just obviously doesn't care about his handsome face, wants to be ugly. He wants to be ugly Penguin, which shows how much an ego he doesn't have. So that looks like it's going to be great, the Penguin. So, you have any thoughts about that? Either of those shows?
Nah, I'm not Agatha. That's not for me. I really don't care. The character is not consequential to anything important moving forward. I don't feel like so. I just don't have an interest in it. The Penguin looks like it's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see that. Me and Morgan can't wait till they drop that. Are they dropping all the episodes in one swing, or are they gonna drop it weekly?
I think it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a thing of like they'll drop like a few episodes in the premiere, and then they'll do like a weekly thing. That's from. That's
All
what I
right,
heard.
all right, that'll work. That'll
But
work.
I think there's only like six episodes. No.
That's the shit that I hate. I hate that shit, man.
Right.
I know. At least they don't want to give too much away for the movie, but for Batman, the Batman Part 2 or whatever. But come on, man, you got to give me more than 6 or 8, man. Come on.
All right. How many penguins? 8. I'm sorry, 8 actually.
Still, that's still light. Could at least give me 12.
I think that's good
I'll take
enough.
12.
I think that's good enough. To me, I think that's good enough.
I want more. I want more.
Jesus Christ! How much? How much can you take, RJ?
Just wants more. No, I'm just kidding.
Or I want it all. Okay, this is okay. This is fucking weird. Okay, so only the first episode is going to premiere on September 19th, and then the second episode is going to premiere on September 29th. That's weird.
What the fuck? Yeah,
and then after that, it's going to be weekly. It's going to be October 6th to the 13th, and then the final episode is going to be November 10th. So
Matt Reeves, you trying to play hard to get, huh, big boy, huh?
I don't know.
I see what you're doing there, son.
Yeah, Matty Reeves. And then final like DC news is Nicholas Hoult, who's going to be playing Lex Luthor in the Superman movie, is rumored to have done an episode of Peacemaker.
Oh.
Peacemaker, John Cena will be a part of James Gunn's new DCU.
Yeah.
So
Well deserved.
I'm assuming that it's probably going to be like for the final episode. Because I know the final episode of Peacemaker, you had the Justice League come out. So for this one, I'm assuming Nicholas Hoult is going to come out in the last episode. Maybe to like set up something in Superman, which I can't imagine. I can't imagine James Gunn is going to do that, where it's just like this is just going to lead to another movie. I think it's more so like he's going to play a role, but at the same time, it's going to be like to set up the new Superman movie. But
maybe Lex Luthor, maybe wants to recruit Peacemaker for the for his group.
I don't know. It'll be interesting, but I can't imagine James Gunn is going to be like this whole series is just going to set up another movie. Like,
of course not. But there's nothing wrong with linking certain, because I
right.
think Peacemaker is going to be. I don't think he's going to be pigeonholed to the show. I think Peacemaker will be in a movie again. I think he has to realize that John Cena is a big star right now, and he's on fire. So he's got to put him in another movie sometime soon.
Oh no, I agree with you. What I was saying was like, Marvel does that a lot, where it's just like, hey, here's a show, here's a movie, but it's linked, but it's gonna be to set up another movie.
Yeah.
Whereas James Gunn's,
I don't think there's anything wrong with that though. Like, I don't think it's a negative thing at all. I think, in fact,
right,
it helps validate that, okay, Peacemaker, you have to watch Peacemaker because you never know what might pop off.
Yeah, but you know what I mean, right? Where it's just like your sole purpose is to set up this, and not to be interesting or to have people care about you. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, the first Peacemaker was about Peacemaker. Right. Whereas in this one, it's about Peacemaker, a part of a much larger universe. And in the end, it's about, it's half and half of like, this is my story, but this is also to set up something else. Whereas I would hate if it's more about this just to set up another story.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get what you're saying, but I don't know. I just think that I think it's important to link some of the characters, because that for a guy, I like Cena on a roll. I like the Peacemaker character, so I do want to see that character in movies and stuff like that moving forward. I don't want him to be excluded from that whatsoever. So, to me, I see that as a positive thing that they're going to have characters be involved, as long as they're not overshadowing him.
Right.
And we're doing cameos at the end of the season. I can live with that. But I don't want the characters to be popping up in the show randomly and this, that, and the other. I did like no. Let Cena have his shine as Peacemaker because I like what they did season 1. I just don't want them to go too far in season 2 with the cameos and everything. Like I definitely get what you're saying, and I hope they don't do that. But if it's just Lex Luthor, hey, Christopher, I want to talk, and fade to black, then I got no problem with that. I think I'm cool with it. But if he's up and down the show, no, I got a problem. You're right. I would have a problem with that.
Right. Exactly. Like just it's kind of like with Gen V and the boys, where Gen V, they were smart about their cameos, where they were like, we want these characters to have their time to shine, and we're going to sprinkle in some cameos, and at the end we're going to have Homelander come out, but at the same time they're not going to overshadow these current characters, but this is also going to be used as a way to set up the next season of the boys, and also this season also setting up the next season of Gen V. So Gen V did it perfectly. But yeah, man, I'm looking forward to Peacemaker. What else can I say? I really did enjoy the first season of Peacemaker, and I'm looking forward to the second season of Peacemaker. So, but that's all the comic book news we have. Went a little bit overboard, but hey, it's what we do here. Do you have time to do a quick little game?
Yeah, sure.
Right, so this is something we did last time. It's called Were They Recast? So I'm gonna spout off some names to RJ.
Yep.
And he's just gonna tell me if they were miscast or perfectly cast or not. All right. I'm trying to look up some names. I don't know if these are names I talked about last time.
Write them down next time.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Keep them in notes. iPhone, if you have an iPhone or Android, just keep them in notes.
Right. Idris Elba as Heimdall.
Good cast.
All right. I thought he was good. To me, it just looked at it as like, it's Idris Elba. You could have something else for him, like something bigger for him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, more physical. Yeah. No, you're right.
It's like.
It feels like he could have done more. Yeah, he definitely could have done more. I agree.
Like,
but I liked him in the role though, like them using his voice and everything like that. I thought Heimdall was a fine character, and of course, like I said, yeah, could have done so much more with him.
I mean, now he's in DC. Now he's a Bloodsport, which again, a nothing character, and you just made him like really interesting. So yeah, good for him.
He's pretty much poor man's Deadshot.
Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Great cast. Like, he just fit the bill. He to me, they got it right with him and Michael Chiklis both, but him in particular, yeah.
I also thought, like, Chris Evans, obviously he's a great Steve Rogers, but I just think he just seemed like he was having so much fun when he came back as Johnny Storm.
Oh yeah.
Because that to me, he even said in an interview that's a much easier buy than coming back as Captain America. Because when you come back as Cap, like, that's such an iconic character, you have to really like make that make sense as far as like why he's back. Whereas Johnny Storm, it's just like, it's so easy. It's Johnny Storm, and the fact that Chris Evans got to be a douchebag for a day, like, because Johnny Storm, is kind of a douche when you look at it.
He is. Whereas Captain America is uptight and he's a smacked ass, so yeah, like it's very tough to tap into that. Whereas, like you said, being a cocky, arrogant douchebag asshole, that's easy to play.
Which is, I'm interested to see what the new guy does. The older I get, the more my memory goes to shit. Like, I used to remember these people's names right off the bat. So,
yeah, I'm blanking on his name right now too, bro. Don't worry.
Since we're keeping the Fantastic Four theme, Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm.
Oh, recast. Blah, blah. Hated it. Didn't like it.
Yeah. Michael B. Jordan is not good at playing a cocky douchebag. He can be cocky, You know, he was cocky as Killmonger, but him being this arrogant kind of douchebag, no, wasn't believable. I mean, set aside all the problems that movie had. I think a big problem was just like nobody seemed like they had chemistry with each other. I didn't buy the fact that those guys were a family. I didn't buy the fact that him and Sue were, adoptive, brother and sister. So it's just to me it legit seemed like everybody met each other for the first time.
Yeah.
But he got redeemed for Mr. Jordan. Michael Keaton as the Vulture.
Perfectly casted. He took a character like the Vulture, who is a joke character in the comic books for all intents and purposes, and really made him menacing, made him fun, and made him interesting as well. So yeah, Michael Keaton, big W there.
Yeah, he was certainly the best part of Homecoming. I really did love that scene in the car where he just starts putting two and two together and realizes that, Peter's Spider-Man. And, he just has that one good line delivery of like, does she know? Know what? Good. Keep it to the chest. I'm like, ooh, that was good. Especially that fucking reveal where Peter shows up to the house and you see him there.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see that coming. Usually I'm good with like piecing together plot twists. Because I thought he was going to be MJ's father, Zendaya's father. I did not know he was going to be Liz's father. And when that reveal happened, where he opens the door, because it was supposed to be like this happy-go-lucky scene of like, oh, Peter's going to go to prom, he's going to have fun, he's going to enjoy it. When that door opens and you see Michael Keaton, everybody in my theater, holy shit!
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. I'm with you. I thought he was gonna be MJ's dad too.
Oh my god!
So I did not see that shit coming. That was a really good twist, and he was just having a ball. You can tell he's just having a ball, man. So I mean, he definitely took that. He carried it, man. He carried it, bro.
Oh man, great Vulture, great villain. And I like the idea behind the Vulture was that he's the working man. He's blue collar, and then you have Tony Stark and the Avengers that get to take all the credibility for everything. So for him, it's just like, where's my? Like, I'm the working man. So and I like the idea when the hero is being presented with almost like a morality, thing of like, do I just let this guy go and he can just go live his life and be with his family, or do I stop him? And so I like that. I like that where it's just like Peter. Where for us, it's like you probably should just let him go. Maybe things would have worked out better. But then you stop him, and then you have Tony Stark's trust. So I really don't know. It's one of those things of just like I like that idea of like you divide the fans in a positive way.
Yeah.
Let's see. This is interesting because this guy played two big roles. He's currently playing a big role. Tom Hardy as Bane and Venom.
I thought he was a good Bane.
Right.
Him as Venom, I'm a little iffy about it at times. But for that movie, they make those movies work. So yeah, I'm a win on both. I like his portrayal of Bane better. But yeah, a big dub on both of them.
Yeah, everyone's like boner with Bane as the voice. It's just like, okay, whatever. If you can get past the voice, which I have. I mean, he's really menacing in the movie because like, especially the music. Yeah. So like, especially when he's like walking towards you and you hear the
Bane, Hasha, Hasha, Bane, Hasha. Yeah,
like
that
that's
gets you hyped.
That's like fucking Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees in one, like walking towards you. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he breaks Batman, a la Nightfall in the comics.
Yep.
Like he he was an effective villain in that movie because he defeated Batman and he took over Gotham momentarily. You know what I mean? Like all the villains in those movies that they defeated Batman in one aspect. They won in some aspects. Like the Joker really fucked up Gotham.
Yeah, psychologically.
Psychologically, and then they had to negate who Harley Dent really was to kind of paint that picture of like he was the shining light of Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And then Bane comes in and just says, "Nah, fuck that. Like I'm gonna expose you motherfuckers." And he did. He defeated Batman. He defeated Gotham for a big chunk of the movie. And then I didn't like the way he went out. I didn't like the fact that they just like shoot him with a big gun on a bicycle. Well, not so, but
that's my only complaint.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that he just went out like kind of like a bitch. But that's just me.
He did. He went out with a whimper.
Exactly. And then him as Venom. I mean, he's having fun, cool, but it's just like for a viewer, someone who loves Venom, for someone with a Venom tattoo, it's like I don't know. You could just let the MCU handle Venom. That's just me. We'll do one more and then we'll get you out of here. I'm trying to think of some other names that I haven't mentioned before. Who is somebody that I haven't mentioned before? No, I guess I don't really have anybody. I guess that's kind of like the big chunk because I feel like I've talked about these names before. Oh, let me do one more. I got one. Natalie Portman, Jane Foster.
Good casting. Good casting. I liked her. I thought she was kind of brought back Natalie Portman back into the. I was about to say Natalie Portman. really brought Natalie Portman back to the spotlight again after she was kind of away for a good bit. But no, I liked her as Jane. I thought her and Chris Hemsworth had good chemistry and everything like that, to the point where, like, on Tumblr, they were the it couple. Thor and Jane was the it couple, and this, that, and the other. And no, I thought she did a good job. I liked her portion of Thor 4. I thought it was a really good story to tell and everything like that. But yeah, I liked her in the role. Dub casting.
Right. I like her too. I just kind of wish they did more for her or more with her. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because it's Natalie Portman. She's a great actress. And whatchamacallit, Love and Thunder was what it was. There's people that loved it, and there's people that weren't nuts about it. So we'll just kind of keep it at that. But that's everything, people. That's everything we have to talk about as far as wrestling and comic book news goes. So breaking news, they put out the trailer for the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. And they're bringing in some heavy hitters for this. They're bringing in, obviously, Steve Austin, Hogan, Rock, some heavy hitters. They're even having wrestlers talk about Benoit.
Wow.
So, on Netflix, September 25th. So
Big nasty.
Yeah, the trailer dropped. So look for that. I will be watching. My eyes will be glued to that shit. But we are done for the day, people. I will edit this, and I will have this up by tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, as well as putting up on the YouTube portion. But RJ, always a pleasure. I know this went a little longer than expected, but hey, what can we do?
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yes, sir. All right, man. Shout out to everybody. Look for the experience. Possibly we'll be doing a post show this Saturday, depending on how long the show goes. But as always, we're up every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central Time on the Wrestling Soup Discord as well as YouTube. And the show you can find anywhere where podcasts are distributed. Yada yada yada. What about you, RJ? Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LowRJ Unlimited, where any and everything that comes out of my mouth has no limits whatsoever. I just did a show, like I mentioned earlier, with my friend Andrew over at RJ and Savage Squad. So if you want to check that out, that's everywhere where podcasts are available. No Brooklyn Power Trip this week, and just check out our show here when it drops, and subscribe, review, do whatever you need to do to get us up there. Let's run these numbers up, and yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
All right, man. We will see you guys soon. So
Yeah,
peace out, everyone, and have a good weekend.
yeah. Peace out, guys. Catch you guys later.